I fucking hate the Bird app. It can go in the bin. Stupid cunt. Fucking cunt. Shit dog cunts. Cunts. Am I gonna get banned on Twitch for saying the word cunt too many times in a row? Because that's what's got me suspended on Twitter. For the record. Said the word cunt too many times in a tweet.
Another round on you. I'm sorry the internet people don't like you, but we love you.
I will make the internet people fucking love me. Or tolerate me at the very least. Ladies, others, and gentlemen, welcome to the Rogue Room. I am Abigail Beck, your host of the Rogue Room. I probably should figure out the intro. I should probably workshop that a little bit. How's it going? Welcome back. I am suspended on Twitter, which is not very poggers. I looked at the wrong camera. It's not very poggers, to be quite honest with you. Magic, go fuck yourself, mate. But dude, I got suspended on Twitter again because I made a joke in response to somebody who said the word cunt. And I said, oh, everybody's a cunt. By the way, Rena, thank you so kindly for the 200 bits. I should probably thank you for that. Thank you kindly. Somebody said a tweet about the word cunt. And thank you for saying I look beautiful, Ara. I appreciate it. Somebody said something about the word cunt. And I responded with the word cunt. But I used it a few more times in my tweet, just basically building on the joke with my own response. Wasn't offending anyone. I wasn't targeting anyone. I wasn't harassing anyone. I was just going, everybody's a cunt. Mad cunts, sick cunts, shit cunts, dog cunts. Apparently they don't understand the Australian language. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. And now I am suspended until 3 a.m. 12 hours. Which is just a nuisance. I can't post my live tweet. I can't post anything. It's a bunch of people who've responded to my tweets or whatever. I can't do anything on there. It's fucking shit, dude. However, some Pog news to kick us off. Aside from... He keeps sitting behind the chair. My cat keeps sitting behind my chair and meowing at me. What do you want? I don't know what he wants. I have no idea. Suspended for being Australian. This is literally racism. Twitter, for the record. I'm calling you out right now. Alright? Twitter, I have to make this statement. By suspending my account for excess use of the word cunt that was not directed at anyone, was not harassing anyone, or anything of the sort, Twitter, you are being racist against my Australian heritage. That's bad, Twitter. Don't do a racism against Aussies. Cunt. 12 hours. I couldn't post my going live tweet.
Appreciates your
Rena, thank you for the host. Anyway, it's not blue, it's purple. It's purple. Also, I'm wearing this fit again. Out of the fucking way. I'm wearing this outfit again because this is so fucking cozy and I love this outfit. It's so good. So I just decided I'd flash the camera, but I'm not actually flashing the camera. It's just allegedly flesh toned. It's pink. We have the emus on our side. Ugh, emus. Do I have to get the sword out? Did we try swords against the emus? Kind of surprised if we didn't try swords against the emus. We should have tried swords. Anyways. Anywho. You don't have viewers because you don't stream, but it may help. Well, it might help. You never know. Hosting's always a good thing. You know, hosting's always good because it's sort of... If for example, I've been... I mean, it mainly applies to streamers. What's very spooky? What's spooky? Is it all my lights? It's all my lights, isn't it? They're all very spooky. If guns didn't work, yeah, why didn't they try swords? Why didn't they try swords, huh? The word boo. Well, true. It mostly applies like if somebody's hosting your account and they're a streamer, of course. Because I've gone and I've checked out streamers from like Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, and they're hosting somebody, and then I'm like, oh, I found another cool streamer to check out because they're hosting this person. Why would swords work? I don't know. They could challenge the emus to melee and do like honorable melee combat. Emus with their necks and us with our swords. I don't know. The point is, I'm no military strategist. They never tried it. Who knew? Who knows? We could have won the emu war with swords. Make the emu die to alcohol. Exactly. Give them vodka. Or just Molotovs. Why didn't they try Molotovs? Yeah, grenades, nukes. Why didn't we try nuking the emus? Anyway, neither here nor there. So, Bahama Mama. There you go. Also, I redid my nails, so they're all freshly nice and black and shiny now. Heard that if you host you, the people who interact with me have more chance. Yes, indeed. I think that's the case. I think the algorithm does indeed take into account if you are, like if someone on Twitch is like your friend or something like that. Twitch has a friends list.
The Room appreciates your recommendation.
Draco, thank you for the host, mate. Yes, fuck Twitter. And thank you, Broken, for giving a heck for the way. So yeah, like it's all like an intermingled system. But here's some Poggers news. Moving on from Twitter being a cunt. I should stop saying that word in case Twitch picks up on it and then they suspend me for saying the word cunt too much. Let me think. Them nails. Look at these nails. Aren't they pretty? They're not the greatest, honestly. They're very bleh. Is there a mod in chat who can run that poll? Although it's, you know, it's kind of a redundant poll. Twitch and Twitter are different platforms and Mixer is dead. Like, the Drew Gooden thing, I'd have to look that up. But here's some Pog news. Here's some Poggers news. We get some Pogs in chat. Your girl received her name change certificate in the mail today. I am, for all intents and purposes, legally Abigail. Fuck yes. Can we get a fucking shutdown sound effect? Apparently. Some cheers. If I used Mixer, well, we can't anymore. How my Twitter aside, not bad. I'm pretty happy that I'm legally Abby. I am legally Abby. Apologize, get rid of the racist tweets he made 6 years ago and sent money to a bunch of anti-Asian hate charities. I didn't even know what happened. Best platform, here we go. Twitch, Twitter, or Mixer. I honestly hate all of them. They're all fucking dreadful. Legally Abby. I'm Abby now. Peace. I'm gonna just log off. I just wanted to log on so I could say I'm legally Abby now, then fuck off. Go watch. Well, I can't watch Castlevania anymore. I finished it. I gotta wait until May 13th for them to release the rest of the fucking season. So I'm stuck waiting. Thanks, Netflix. But I quite enjoyed that. I quite enjoyed the ending of the third season. I'm interested to see where it goes. I'm not going to spoil anything. No one else in chat spoil anything. I could rewatch it. Yeah, best platform for what? That's another point. You know? To be made. I guess I'll vote Twitch because I stream on here routinely. I have a Stockholm Syndrome relationship with this platform. I hate a lot of the things that it does. Yet it has given me such a great avenue for pursuing my love of entertainment. So I am torn. This platform fucking sucks, but it's got some positives about it. Anyway. It's your first poll. No, it's not you. It's like, it's kind of the, we'll blame Fox. Blame Fox. You can call me Abby-chan if you want. Blame Fox because Mixer is dead, Twitch is alive, and Twitter is a different style of platform. So that they're not, it's an apples to oranges thing. A better comparison, and this is the thing, like, we could do another poll after this one's over. I'll do this one. Which would compare streaming platforms. Twitch, YouTube, Trovo, DLive. But that wouldn't really matter if you folks don't watch anyone on any of those websites, is the thing. Twitch and YouTube generally are more comparable than other social media, though. Of course, Twitch wins. Can't get a PS5. Oh, I know. I want one. I wouldn't be able to afford one, but I want one. You know. Since the death of Tumblr, Twitter is the best place for fattish smut. For what? Yes, you can smoke a blunt if you want. Figured out how to poll, how to host, and all kinds of fancy things. There you go. Fair fattish. Gonna put a no context band name in chat. Alright. So yeah, so what was it? He made some racist jokes 6 years ago. Yeah, I've noticed that Twitter has that problem. They'll go back and... Yeah, like we could write... I'm not gonna watch... what's it called? Not gonna watch... Lindsay Ellis's latest video. Mask Off, I think she called it. Where she goes on about the comparison between Raya the Last Dragon and Avatar the Last Airbender. And she talked about that whole situation and how people were dredging up a whole bunch of problematic Lindsay Ellis moments. They made a whole thing of it, and Twitter really has this crusade thing where they really want to target and destroy someone. Yeah. And that's the thing, I hate the phrase cancel culture because it's often used in such a way as to portray certain people as actually being under attack when it's more often than not. I don't know. The whole concept of cancel culture is stupid. I hate it. But regrettably, in some circumstances, it does have an application. I am doing a stream. You got an Etsy order. It's going to pay for your wedding dress alterations. Fuck yes. The Queer Diogenes. Welcome, Vagabond. How's it going? Oh, speaking of orders, another bit of good news. I might have showed you this on stream before. I'm going to show it again because it's fucking stunning. I ordered this a little while back. Over a month ago, I ordered this, but I ordered it in black. Go away. Is there a black... Well, there's a photo of the black one. It's just recolored in the photo. I ordered the black one of these because it looks fucking gorgeous, and I want more roby shit. And they've finally sent me a confirmation it'll be here on the 10th of this coming month. So I'm keen. I am keen. I am super keen. Chilly. You could be chilly. I like that. It's because folks don't seem to realize people change a lot in that time frame. You know, when you're the person you were 10 years ago, even allowing for the transition. Yeah, exactly. You know, a lot of us, I've mentioned on numerous occasions, I definitely, the Octoplush friend. Can we bring the octopus? Can we bring Octopus out? We have to bring out the octopus. Look him. Give me a sec. Am I off? Am I out of the shot? I know it's just a cardigan, so it shouldn't be like a weird thing. I'm gonna take it, but I don't want to wear this anymore. I can go there. And instead, what I'm gonna put on, because now I'm too warm up top, I'm gonna put these on instead. Here we go. I'm gonna sit here in my little fluffy gloves. Look at these. Are they not adorable? My mother got me these. Anyways, check this out. We got the octopus. I love this thing. Oh, can we sit it up there? We can sit it up there. You stay there. There we go. Nude outfit again. I'm not naked. My nipples are covered. Twitch. I swear to God, if I get into trouble for this, for just wearing an outfit, wearing a flesh-toned outfit. It's not like, I can see that the color is pink on my end, but it looks flesh-toned on camera for some reason. Logitech C922s are fucking garbage. Anyway. Let's have a look. Flesh clothes. You can have a link in chat, Rena. Yes, indeed. Spam me a link if you got it. Hello, BTG. I'm doing well. How you doing? Logitech. How dare they? What was I going to say? Oh, there was something relating to this. Oh, yeah, like, Lindsay Ellis mentioned this in her video. I think the more disturbing thing is that the internet, especially people on Twitter... Well, I can go to my own Instagram page. Yeah, certainly. Go to Instagram. Look at me. And... yeah. That's my Instagram page. Don't keep spamming it. Anyway. What was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, like there's definitely a thing on Twitter where certain big accounts have got these stalkers. Alright. Or posture check. There's certain big accounts have definitely got these stalkers. There's your posture check. Is me like getting into correct posture. they've got these people who will just hang around their accounts for years on end and bookmark and save and screenshot everything that they possibly can. Aurora, just waiting. Like, imagine being that deranged as to find someone and grab any tweet you can to hold on to for evidence for later down the track. You know, further down in 5 years' time, this person's gonna have a really spicy bad take, and I'm gonna drag up all this other shit that I saved. Like, that's obsessive. Please see a therapist. That is dangerous behavior. That is, quite frankly, the kind of shit that leads to people at, that leads to the instance, do you remember the, regrettably, the singer on YouTube who was at a fan meet and greet who got shot in the head? She got shot and killed. Anywho's, I want to just show these off because muscles. Christina, yeah. I forgot what her name is. Here's some hydration. Christina Grimmie, yes. So when I see somebody on Twitter who is just bringing up the dirt, dragging up the dirt, I'm like, this person could be a serious threat to that particular person's life. That is stalker behavior. That game dev, the one Zoe Quinn accused of sexual assault. Did they kill themselves? Or am I thinking of some other incident? This is disturbing, isn't it? That's why you only tweet lewds and proposals for cannibalism. Guy ended his life and people are saying that he was guilty. Well, if we don't have... This is the unfortunate situation there. Even if his life were destroyed, we're never going to have any confirmation. We're never going to have any proof of that either way. Because I'm very, very on the... as far as I know, Zoe Quinn is a pretty questionable individual in general. From what I've been told. I don't know. But when it comes to sexual assault stuff, it's such a murky area. If someone makes an accusation at someone... You know, especially if it's years after the fact, it's such a murky area. But yeah, no, believe victims. You know, just believe victims ultimately, because you know the rate at which false accusations are putting people in prison is minuscule. Anywho, the world 20 years ago was so much different without social media. We were so unaware, and I bet majority of white people on Twitter had laughed at a joke that would be seen as outdated nowadays. Like if we pulled up their past. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. People change, and so did the entire world in the last decades. Yeah, I think there's a, survivors. Yeah, not victims, survivors. That's a good point. What was I going to say? We were watching Milo's video about harassment, saying they knew it was illogical that someone would attack them. You remember that literally happened to Christina Grimmie. Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like these people who've got millions of subscribers on YouTube would have to be watching their back all the time, because when you've got such a big audience and you're on the internet and the kind of content you put out is generally a lot more informal than, like, don't get me wrong, I dare say Jimmy Fallon, for example, has got stalkers, absolutely. People who would be out to kill him. But it feels like when you are somebody who is on YouTube or Twitch or TikTok or whatever, and you're creating relatable content, it's like, oh, I'm just a regular everyday person doing my thing, reviewing some memes, talking about social issues or whatever the fuck. Whatever it is you do. When you're on that more relatable level of, well, this person uploads to YouTube, I upload to YouTube, I upload to TikTok, or, you know, I can do the same thing as they can, as opposed to, a real celebrity, which is a stupid thing, but, someone on television, someone in movies. There's that level of connection, there's that level of social connection where you can go like, oh, I'm kind of like them, which means there's a chance the two of us could meet. There's a chance that we could have some kind of a friendship or relationship. Parasocial relationships get really dangerous. And then I think, was it the case of Christina Grimmie where the person who attacked her was an obsessed stalker who was definitely, romantically interested in her, definitely pursuing a crush, and it obviously didn't pan out that way. And yeah, I feel like, especially in this age of social media celebrity, that's a particularly dangerous thing when, the people you're watching on YouTube seem relatable. PewDiePie is a good example. The kind of content, well, when I used to watch him like a year or two ago, the kind of content he puts out, anyone could fucking do that. Legitimately, aside from his music video stuff, which is more production value, but his usual videos are just him sitting at a computer responding to whatever's popular, doing meme reviews, playing a video game. He's doing such a normal thing that everyone can do. Whether you like him or hate him, he's an example of one of the top YouTubers. Over 100 million subscribers, which is probably an inflated number, but anyway. He is a recognizable face on the platform, and yet, the reason he's famous is if you've got a PC, you could do the same thing he does, and that makes him relatable to his audience, and as a result, higher likelihood of stalkers and things like that. In my personal perception, I'm not a fucking psychologist, but just the way I see it is if somebody is seen as more relatable, it makes it that much easier for a stalker to justify their own actions to themselves. You know, stalkers are already a little bit, not connected to reality to begin with. He's alright, I don't really like his content anymore though. He's had a few too many controversies for me to bother with, He doesn't pop up in the news as much as he used to, so I just don't really care to check him. Radio Broken, have a good one. Also, was there a YouTube video? There's probably multiple YouTube videos about that whole situation. Same with the Björk Stalker. Have a good one, Soul. Got bored when he stopped playing Minecraft. Yeah, I actually genuinely got really into his Minecraft series when he was doing that. And then once that stopped, once he started doing other games again and whatever else, started doing streams, I was like, I lost interest. Even before the controversy, I hated his stupid face. It's understandable. I mean, the reality of the situation is he is, at the end of the day, one of those people on that platform who is so monstrously popular, it's easy to hate them. He's rich. He has been reported as having moved his game companies out of the UK and into other countries where they will be paying less taxes to run those companies, for example, and his merch and stuff like that. So he's clearly, he's gotten to the point where he's, making a ton of money, and it's easy to resent someone who makes a ton of money, I think. Whether that's the conscious reasoning or subconscious reasoning. It's easy to look at someone who's making a ton more money than you and has a cozy lifestyle and say, oh, I fucking hate your guts, don't I? I think about this all the time, genuinely. When I'm doing deliveries, and I get a delivery to go to a wealthier neighborhood, and I'm driving through these neat, pristine streets and all these lovely, fresh houses, freshly mown lawns, nice cars in the driveways, some of them have got fucking boats, and all I'm thinking is, I hate everyone who fucking lives here. I hate them. They're awful. Because I don't have that life. It's envy. Warbing, hello Megaspell, how you doing? He used to not be into PewDiePie, then he watched a few of his videos. Like, this is the thing, is like a lot of his content doesn't seem that controversial when you watch it. But I think there are people who are better at analyzing the kind of stuff that does make him problematic than I am, give him the benefit of the doubt that he's not a Nazi or anything, but at some point you get in trouble with the public for the same thing every other week. That's not really an accident anymore. Yeah, that's another thing. Hello, Paul. How you doing? That's another thing, is that most certainly there are creators who know when to push buttons. And PewDiePie is certainly one of them. He's one of those people who knows the exact moment. It's like, this could get me attention. If I do something a little bit spicy right now, I might suffer a bit of consequence for it, but ultimately I'll be okay. But it's going to get me traction. It's going to bring people to me. He's one of those people that knows how to do that. He's mastered it to an art, I don't really care for anything that comes across as basic cis white head energy, even if that sounds judgmental, but your trans women issues are constantly ignored by society. I totally agree. I get it. I feel like I wouldn't watch his content now because I just wouldn't find it relatable. And yes, eat the rich. With Worcestershire. Like medium rare. Anyway. Also your take, haven't been able to watch him regularly for every year or two because he toes the line too closely, like when he did a meme review with KSI that had a few memes that hinted at the N-word. Yeah. I know the feeling. Did he get more racist when someone was about to take over for more subs on YouTube? He made quite a few spicy jokes towards Indians when he was doing the PewDiePie versus T-Series thing, most certainly. There were a number of things in there that were like, holy shit, that is outright flagrantly racist. If you go back and you review that content, you'll notice some of the things he said in that song he released even. I think there were 2 songs. There were 2 T-Series songs. And there was a bunch of stereotyping in those, Tommy wore a British Army uniform, which the media mistook for a Nazi one. And yeah, the British Army's pretty bad, yeah. True. Again, I used to watch him because the thing is, and I think that he's one of those people that's easy to fall into watching because he routinely uploads and it comes back around to that thing we mentioned before. He's relatable. Like the content he puts out is relatable. You can sit down, and it used to be he would put out a 10-minute video, but I think over the past year or so he's increased the length of videos again. I don't know. But for a while there, he was just doing a 10-minute video, and it's very easy to subscribe to a YouTube channel and just watch a single 10-minute video from that channel every day, especially if it's just kind of whatever. If it's not super deep and involved, mentally stimulating kind of shit. I think that's where his appeal comes from, is he's kind of like the daytime television of YouTube. You know, largely speaking, no matter what he puts out, it's not super deep and introspective. It's just, here's some content, enjoy. You know? Doesn't put a lot of planning into it, and I think a lot of people see the appeal of that. The Turf Island, Turf Island Army has a lot of explanation to do, yeah. So yeah, I feel like in regards to the British Army thing, the Nazi thing, and all that kind of stuff, you know, it's, at the end of the day, military bad. Violence bad. No violence. There was that thing with getting some poor Indian kids to hold up a sign saying, yeah, that. Because he's explained this before. The joke in that circumstance, and this was a few years ago when he had like the blonde emo cut. The joke in that circumstance was, let's see how far we can push these Fiverr people. And I think in that circumstance, they didn't even speak English. But yeah, that's still fucking yikes as all buggery. Jesus Christ. Yeah, put the TERFs on the naughty gay chair. What's going on in the UK with the TERFs at the moment? Have you heard about what's going on with the TERFs in the UK at the moment? Should we talk about TERFs for a second? Yes, I'm Twitter banned until 3 a.m. I'm not going to be awake to tweet when I get up. Shut up. Anyway, war bad, do not like Hideo Kojima. Should we talk about this? Oh, also, I've got my music on. I just realized. Got my music. Can you hear my music? Can you hear my music reverberating through the microphone, or is it fine? Because it's not really very loud. I don't want to wear my headphones. The Fiverr thing, not yet. Well, it's just, the song's just ended. I'm going to turn my volume down a bit. No music reverb? Well, that's good. Because I want you to hear the music, but I don't want it to come through the microphone. Because then it's weird. Thought it was about worker exploitation, but he should have known it would come off. What's my maximum vertical jump height? Is this a Dr. Disrespect related question? I haven't actually measured. It was just bad taste. You hear it a bit. I've turned it down. Just a tad. Well, here's a song playing at the moment. Is there any reverb? I'll shut up for a second. I feel like you wouldn't be able to hear it. Yeah, now there's sound, but is there reverb? I only hear the music. Okay, that's good. That's good. I just don't want to wear my headphones. Meh. My earbuds. So I want to just be able to faintly hear it and know want you folks to hear it, because you'll hear the audio much more clearly. No verb. Verbs are gone. Anyway, what are we saying? Hello, Stormy. How you doing? Let me just look something up really quickly, because I want to clarify. What is a watershed moment? I want to know what a watershed moment is. A watershed moment is a turning point, the exact moment that changes the direction of an activity or situation. Okay, is a dividing point from which things will never be the same. Alright, okay. Now that I've got that. I'm banned on Twitter, but I can still look at tweets. I'm suspended until 3 a.m., which is stupid. I have I've got the snowball, the blue snowball, yeah. Anyways. Lol, does nobody understand how publishing works? Says HK. Publishing recruits must be warned that they may have to work on books by people they don't agree with, as the industry faces a watershed moment on free expression. There's an article here. So hang on. Here we go. We are in a very judgmental time where imagination and research is versus cultural appropriation in a way that's quite tiresome. You're calling for freedom of speech while simultaneously telling people who call out racism/transphobia to be quiet because it's tiresome. Jesus. And yeah, there's a bunch of upset TERFs here that, you know, perhaps publishers, and we got a big photo of this ugly dork. I don't, I quite frankly... Oh, I can't subscriber-only content. Fucking Christ. Well, it's about this bitch. Anyway, I'm assuming the notion here, I can't read it without subscribing to it, is that publishers... Let me think. There was a discussion around this recently. Remember the Dr. Seuss thing? Of course, they removed some of their books because those books were problematic, and it's looking like people in the industry are gonna not want to people in the publishing industry are not going to publish certain types of things if they spread certain ideas that are toxic and negative. J.K. Rowling and TERF's Shut Up Challenge, exactly. Banned for expressing herself in a native language no less. Wait, which? Anyways. Yeah, I got banned on Twitter for saying the word cunt too many times. And here's this, like, I'm just gonna respond to some tweets in response to this because I don't have access to the actual article. Yeah, post bullshit on Twitter, have sources paid of you, no one will read, so get away with it. If I change the URL a bit, let's try it. Okay, what can we... Oh, how would we change it? I do have an extension that allows me to get around paywalls because I'm very poor. How you doing, Eli? How's it going? JK is short of a joke. Okay, so there was a... I swear there was something that was not related to the... not related to the Dr. Seuss thing. Dr. Seuss. I swear there was another situation similar to this where a publisher turned down a book. I'd have to find it. I can't think of the article right now. But an author was complaining that their book wouldn't get published. And try putting a dot after .com. Okay. Let me think. Nope, that just gives me an error of 502. Yeah, what was it? There was somebody who had a book. People knew what the book was about. They had a rough idea of what the context of the book was, and this author was complaining nobody would publish it, right? And the context of the book was particularly, kind of stuff nobody wants to hear. We've heard mention of the racism, the transphobia, and all that sort of stuff, which is still fairly prominent in published works, especially the transphobia thing at the moment. And yeah, like a lot of people were responding with publish a better book, or some people were going, oh, what about free speech and all this kind of thing. Not realizing that, of course, publishing companies have a business to run. And if they are aware that their audience is not going to buy a certain book or may actively boycott their business because that publishing house publishes a certain type of book, well, then it stands to reason that the publishers would have to just decline certain pieces of work because it's going to affect their business, their bottom line. That's what they do. Unicorn. Get that one. Get a posture check for you while I flex my tits. And I love the word cunt too. Exactly. Hello, iHunt. How you doing? And this is why it's always funny when this free speech thing comes out. Use Lulu. Yeah. Anybody else here use CBD? I have not used CBD. I have not used the Central Business District. I don't like it. I don't like business. Yeah, it's the free market. So anytime, and especially if it's Americans complaining, oh, they're not going to publish this book because of the free speech thing. Like, the free market capitalism is literally one of the tenets upon which America was founded. Or free thinkers. Yeah, exactly. Actually, on the subject. Where was the thing earlier today? There was a video. Here we go. On the same subject of the free thinking thing. Speaking of books, can I recommend everyone a book about a dragon slaying lesbian? Please do. I'm planning on writing a book about a transgender lesbian at some point. It's me, I'm the transgender lesbian. But it's not autobiographical or anything. Just became ultra capitalist later on. Well, yeah. Please recommend the book about the dragon slaying lesbian. That sounds awesome. Supposedly free thinkers yet feel pressured to be transphobic. Crazy how that works. I'm a free thinker. I'm gender critical. And I'm critical of you publishing works that demonstrably take away our rights when politicians decide to pass tons of anti-trans legislation all across the United States. You're tired, Unicorn? Why are you tired? I'm drinking decaf, so that's not going to be affecting me at least. Transgender lesbian. Oh, great. More competition. It's rather interesting. It's rather amusing that on a similar vein, on a similar notion, Mia Moore posted a tweet about how it's so boring when there are queer stories that just try to force the queer agenda down your throat. Meanwhile, here's a story about a city-slicking woman who's, a bit of a go-getter in her field of business, what she does. And then she goes home to her rural hometown and falls in love with a hunky man over the holidays. Like, how many of those fucking movies have they made at this point? Give us more queer shit. Stupid. Anyway. I'm a free thinker, said the person who parrots long debunked arguments on Twitter to own their enemies. Speaking of which, Joe Rogan listeners tend to be the kinds of people who are like, I'm a free thinker, and then get all of their life advice from Joe Rogan. We're going to trash on Joe Rogan for a bit. Who's ready to trash on Joe Rogan? Let's shit on Joe Rogan experience. Starting now. The Let's Shit on the Joe Rogan experience. Let's begin. Let's fucking go. Can we get some let's fucking goes in chat? Joe Rogan tells 21-year-olds not to get COVID vaccine on popular Spotify show. When it comes to healthy younger people, Joe Rogan says getting a COVID-19 vaccine isn't even worth a shot, despite advice from the CDC and medical experts saying otherwise. For the record, for anyone who missed this, Joe Rogan is not a medical expert. Joe Rogan is not a medical expert. Do not take his medical advice. For the record, in case you missed it. If you're like 21 years old and you say to me, should I get vaccinated? I'll go, no, says Rogan in the episode. In the clip, Rogan says that the vulnerable people should get the vaccine and he's encouraged others to get it as well. People say, do you think it's safe to get vaccinated? He adds. So I've said, yeah, I think for the most part it's safe to get vaccinated. I do. And this is the thing, there has already been a bit of discussion around the idea. There's already been plans that, certain more vulnerable people should get the vaccine first, naturally. Everybody who is at most at risk. So to that end, he's got the point of most healthy, 21-year-olds, anywhere up to like 38, 40-ish. From that, sort of in between. I think the most vulnerable were particularly younger folks and particularly older folks. And then there was a big gap in the middle of, people who are just, young adults to middle-aged types. The least vulnerable to it. I think. I can't recall. Somebody correct me on that. But at any rate, there is the point that if someone is 21, like he said here, chances are they can be moved down the line unless they are unless it's medically necessary, unless they have some sort of pre-existing condition where they need the vaccine to prevent them from catching the full-blown COVID. Anyway. However, when discussing the young and healthy, specifically those around that early 20s age range, he later adds, look, don't do anything stupid, but you should take care of yourself. You should, if you're a healthy person and you're exercising all the time and you're young and you're eating well, I don't think you need to worry about this. Again, this cycles back around to the fact that vaccines, friends, don't just protect you. It's not about you. Getting the vaccine is a selfless action. Selfless. Okay? So when we're talking about getting the vaccine, we're talking about getting it so that if we do catch an asymptomatic variant of COVID, or we are asymptomatic while we have COVID, if we happen to cough near somebody who is not vaccinated, all of a sudden they could catch COVID, they could get sick, they could die, or they could go and spread it to everybody else in their little social circle. Get vaccinated to protect not just yourself, but those around you, is the takeaway here. I did get banned from Twitter because I said the word cunt like 6 times in a tweet. Anyway, stupid. Let's keep going with this. Should we watch the video of it? Let's watch the video of it.
And people say, do you think it's safe to get vaccinated? I've said, yeah, I think for the most part it's safe to get vaccinated. I do. But if you're like 21 years old and you say to me, should I get vaccinated? I go, no. Yeah. Are you healthy? Are you a healthy person? Look.
That's not how this works, for the record. Even if you are a completely healthy individual, You can still catch something like COVID and it can still kill you. There have been cases of this. There have been numerous cases. I've seen articles written where somebody has said something to the effect of, I had a friend who was like 23. They caught COVID, never had any health issues in their life, dead. There's been numerous cases of this. Just because it doesn't happen the most doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Just because you're super healthy doesn't mean you are invulnerable. A lot of young people and people like Joe Rogan feel like they are fucking invincible. This dude's on steroids, I think.
Look, don't do anything stupid, but you should take care of yourself. You should, if you're a healthy person and you're exercising all the time and you're young and you're eating well, and I don't think you need to worry about this.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you.
But there's a lot.
Yeah, he loves conspiracy theories. He absolutely does. He absolutely does. Anyway, Pfizer's vaccine has been approved for those older than 16, and while Moderna's is approved for individuals at least 18 years of age, the FDA hasn't approved any COVID vaccine for those under 16, although vaccine trials have begun on infants and teens. For children, the risk of COVID-19 related death is rare. There we go, that's important. Excuse me, with Media Matters adding that 296 children have died from the disease in the US as of April 22nd, which is awful, but it's a comparatively small number compared to all the others that have died. It's a hot button issue that's seen plenty of disagreements, but Rogan isn't a stranger to controversy. Spotify has reportedly been removing episodes of his podcast, including up to 42 interviews with figures such as Proud Boys founder Gavin McInnes and those with controversial subject matters. There we go. So yeah, somebody like Joe Rogan should not be offering his expertise on this matter. Should not be offering, this is the thing. He's talked about how he hates masks, how he hates the social distancing thing, We're going to have a good one. Thank you so kindly for being here. Nothing more manly than moving state to avoid income tax. Legalize broccoli. Welcome to the Rogue Room. How are you doing? But yeah, he absolutely is a conspiratorial type. He's a very, very, quite frankly, he is friends with Alex Jones. We talked about Alex Jones the other night, and Alex, it seems to me like Joe Rogan is Alex Jones light. He doesn't go crazy. He doesn't screech into the wind about the conspiracies. But there's definitely a lot of stuff where he's just like, oh, I'm a free thinking kind of man. I hate masks and I hate social distancing, but I wear a mask and stay well out of the way of other people. Yeah, exactly. I don't like wearing the masks, but I'm gonna wear it if I have to. Hi Zeta, how you doing? Thank you so kindly, by the way. I looked quite lovely earlier today, honestly. When I was wearing my black dress again, which is so fucking gorgeous. Oh my god, I could live in it. But sadly, it needs to get washed on occasion. But I just want to show you how I looked in this bloody thing. Can I just show my phone? Look at me. Look at this. I think there's a photo similar to this on Twitter that didn't get deleted, and you can't see it. My little black dress. I was wearing this out today to the uni. Felt like I looked like a fucking gothic queen. Anyways. I'm always going to show off my looks because I like feeling pretty. Anyway. Love not showing your face and staying away from people. I mean, it's pretty great. It's pretty great. And I mean, I've seen people who've got some really cool mask designs. They should just be a fashion thing. We should just get around wearing masks for fashion's sake. And I've got a video up talking about... I've got a video going up tomorrow, I think, that's going to talk about the Tucker Carlson situation with the masks. We talked about that either last night or the night before. Last night, yeah. Because he was going, I suppose this wasn't about masks. This was about vaccines. Thank you for the hydration. But still, the mask thing, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, stop freaking out about it. It's really absurd to me. It's really bizarre to me that there are so many people who look at a health measure designed to protect people from literally dying, and they will rebuke it because they made up some reason in their head that the government is trying to control you. Trying to stop the spread of pandemic particles from your respiratory system that could kill other people. And these conspiratards seem to think that, they're trying to control us. Control you how? How is wearing a mask controlling you? How? Hola homonyms, how you doing? I'm allergic to CO2. No, you fucking not. Hope masks stay on vogue forever, Emma. I need to order some really cool ones. I saw one in a store the other day that was just covered in sequins, and I'm like, dude. Actually, now I'm gonna... There we go. I'm gonna just go to Etsy really quickly. I'm just gonna look something up really quick. Just hang on. I'm gonna order some sequin masks. I'm gonna get some sparkly sequin masks. Why not? Oh my goodness. Masks are important. Look at these. This is why masks are important. Items sold by Etsy sellers such as masks aren't medical grade. CO2 can kill you, but it won't. The mask won't make it happen. Exactly. It's ridiculous. People are just looking for an excuse to buck a trend. But the thing is, this trend is designed to help people not die. Masks from Wish is a safe bet. I imagine these masks on Etsy are more than likely. They have like a filter slot, and you put the filter inside it. But I don't see anywhere selling filters. So you usually have to cut a regular mask and stick it in the filter slot, which is just stupid. You like your non-passable face hidden and away from judgment. I feel that. This is why I wear layers of makeup. At least I like how I look with makeup on. Used to kind of like Joe Rogan, so did I. He occasionally has interesting people on, but is continuing to platform anti-trans pundits with no qualifications while not being asked to talk to actual trans people. Oh yeah, I 100% agree with that. He had a literal trans athlete on his show and didn't have the guts to bring up his shitty essentialist takes with it. Of course he didn't. He's only willing to talk about those issues when a trans person's not in the room, you know? When the person he's talking to agrees with him. And when he's talking to somebody who I've noticed Joe Rogan tends to be fairly malleable. His viewpoints shift and change depending on who the guest is. And if there is something he is absolutely set in stone about, like the trans athletes thing, he'll only express those set-in-stone views when he knows the other person's going to agree with him. When they're not going to buck his arguments. He's really underhanded in the way he operates. Hello, Speedy. How you doing? For someone who's so into strength and power, he's gutless. Go ahead, Draco. Talk about the Tucker Carlson thing. Absolutely. I think the Joe Rogan thing was actually going to come up a lot later. Oh, well, I don't know. I thought I had it listed in my usual list of topics, but I didn't. And we were supposed to do a gaming stream tonight, but I might move it to Friday. How about we move the gaming streams to Friday? Because I like doing just the chatting throughout the week. And we'll do the Wednesday as the wind down, chill out stream. The Friday, as the chill out, wind down stream. More like fuck it, turds. And what if you want gay frogs? I want gay frogs. So yeah, how about we move games to Friday nights? He loves socialism when Bernie Sanders was in the room, but as soon as he left, it's back to socialism bad. I'm banned on Twitter because this is my second suspension. I said the word cunt like 5 or 6 times in a tweet. And the thing is, I used to listen to Joe Rogan as well. I used to go and watch his videos fairly routinely because some of the subjects were rather interesting. Until you start to really listen to what he's saying and really listen to the kinds of views he's espousing and the people he's having on his show. There were certain people whose episodes I actively wouldn't watch, like he had, Ben Shapiro on, and I avoided that content because I hate Ben Shapiro. I think he's stupid. But, yeah, it definitely became like the PewDiePie thing. And I think a lot of these factors might have been these factors, I've talked about how I was kind of like leaning into potentially slipping into alt-right thought processes a few years ago. And I think it was people like PewDiePie and PewDiePie and Joe Rogan and all that. And Isaac Butterfield. I used to watch his content actively. And these kinds of people, they slant you into worse ideologies. That's how it works. That's how they get you. Raptor Queen, by the way. Welcome to the program. Did I say that? Instead of using the word cunt, use the term Marjorie Taylor Greene. They're basically the same thing. Yeah, Ben Shapiro is the lamest person alive. I've never seen anyone as lame as Ben Shapiro. It's quite baffling. Hello, Chokin. How's it going? MTG still lacks the depth and the warmth. He even said, it doesn't surprise me that this last 16 months I feel like the party I grew up in is so determined to win that they have done the Skyrim thing. They have tried so long to be the best. Now they really are the villains. Wait, what? Who said that? What have I missed? Okay, hang on. Let me come back. He had a conversation with a close friend about that, saying how he grew up on that side of the political spectrum, but in recent years it's become clear to him that the right wing is fucked up. Oh, there we go. Yeah, exactly. Hello, Pit Princess. What's going on? He's what happens when you bully the nerd in high school too much. When you bully the nerd in high school and he has a rich dad. Bought a single piece of wood from Home Depot. I saw a meme today. Not a meme. Not everything's a meme, Abigail. Jesus. Let me go. Let me just see if I can find it, because it's fucking funny. I swear it was on Reddit. It was just a picture of a dude standing outside Home Depot. I'm gonna try searching. I think the title included the phrase Superior Ben. There we go. I found it. Let's say, hypothetically, that I also bought a single piece of wood from Home Depot, thus proving that I am the vastly superior Ben. He's got the shirt and everything. What a legend. That's an Under Armour face mask. There you go, Titan. I just have to shout out Bad Luck Ben is his name. Fantastic. Oh, anywho's. Oh, excuse me. Come to learn that most people on social media doing political stuff become very extremistic, and that for some reason a healthy middle ground never exists. Well, I mean, that's true, but you got to look at, like, for example, and this largely stems from what I can deduce. Largely stems from the oppositional nature of American politics specifically, which influences the way that people in Australia do it as well. People in, the UK, if I see reports on UK news, people get very, very antagonistic because at least, certain types of issues, especially now, I'm just going to come right out and say it. There are certain political issues where there's definitely a right side. There's definitely a side that's got the right idea. And the other side are just being contrarian for the sake of contrarianism to draw out the policy process, to make things worse for certain people, to make things worse for certain situations. Obviously the trans thing. And in that regard, when you are aware that your opponent has no interest in any sort of civilized discussion, then it's hard to even approach them in a reasonable fashion and try to bring them over to your side. Like, you can't have a middle ground between treat black people like people and let's not. Exactly. There's that comic where it's a bunch of KKK members and BLM protesters. And there's the centrist in the middle who's like, let's talk this out, guys. The KKK are over here with their torches and pitchforks. And BLM fighting for black rights, It's so easy to manipulate centrists, it is. Social media facilitates polarization, it does. And this is a notable point that Alana Pierce did make about politics in the US, because she's an Australian living in the US. Like, yes, Australian politics are still divisive, but what she has said and what I've observed from looking at American political content creators mostly, and just like all the stuff I read about US politics all the time, is here in Australia things are like, yeah, I don't really like the other guy. There are a few politicians where like, that guy's a fucking shit cunt. But in some respects there's a lot more respectful discourse about certain things. Whereas over in the US, it's quite very clearly antagonistic. It's designed in such a way that you're on one side or the other, The most depressing part is that both sides completely refuse to confront each other. You feel like everyone just shits on the other side, but not to their face. Exactly. Yes, indeed. 100%. Excuse me. You're assuming that Ben Shapiro would ever be in philosophy class instead of just shouting lib from outside the door and run away. Me for Prime Minister? God, no. Don't give me that responsibility, Jesus. Have I watched Abigail Thorne's new video? I'm going to have to give it a look. I did watch one about Jordan Peterson's ideology. I watched that one, which was the most recent one that I've seen. Unless she's uploaded a new one already, which would be good. I really want to get a new video of my own out because I want to talk about the trans panic thing that's going on across the world right now. But I haven't finished writing my script for it, and I'm not sure how to approach it. I had a really good idea, and now I'm just like, maybe I should put that idea aside and try something else. It's one of the tricky things about having such a limited budget and limited space. I need my camera, my microphone, blah, blah, blah. Hello, Amy. How you doing? Nobody, literally nobody. Ben Shapibo. Wet-ass P-word. Now my problem is that when these ladies are describing a wet-ass P-word, they're describing a serious gynecological condition. The news wants money to make it off ads, then they cherry-pick scary stories that maximize ad revenue, but intentionally don't educate or explain shit, because if they do, then you'll realize there's no point in continuing watching, because you get it and it makes sense, so they keep you in the dark. Exactly, Speedy. I was talking about this earlier today. There was an article that I found. Let's see if I can find it. ABC News. Okay. Here we go. Here's an article I found on ABC News today. Indigenous death in custody at Cessnock continues spate across Australia. Now, let me just quickly find something on Sky News. Let's talk about the way that the news represents itself. Let's see. I'm trying to find an article that's relevant to this system. How about this? No, don't play your fucking video, mate. Oh, this is a video. I don't want a video. I want an article. Where's an article? Is there an article? At any rate, we were talking in class today about how certain... Yeah, Sky News is straight up alt-right shit, but people see the phrase news and assume it's newsworthy. Thus, the opinions and the words being told to you are informative, and the problem is Sky News is very popular. But if we look at this article by ABC, New South Wales Premier Gladys Berejiklian says she's deeply concerned after an Indigenous man died at Cessnock Correctional Centre yesterday, the 6th across Australian prison since March. And then the rest of the article is pretty matter of fact. It's pretty to the point. There's no editorializing in there. You know, the whole article is just giving you the circumstances of the story. Then you have outlets like Sky News, Fox News, and all that. You would be hard-pressed to find a news article on any of these sites. I think Sky News literally just has videos. I can't find articles on this site at all. But you will find other news sources, typically on the right-wing side of things, that are laden with opinion, deeply fettered with opinion. And people look at that, and it informs their viewpoints about the world. So they've most commonly always got the same kind of thought process. They're already looking at whatever article it is and assuming what the article's going to say, and then seeing it in text or seeing a video that affirms their viewpoints just makes life easier for them. They can, ignore anything to the contrary because they've already got their thought process. They've already got their opinions, and they have no interest in changing them. The Sky News audience can't read. That's why they do videos. Remember when you were a young boy, you're sleeping and remember dreaming about these donuts, you needed to take a shit real bad. Took a shit and woke up, you had shit all in your pants. Radio. Okay. Part 2 of your news rant. Okay, hang on, come back. Let me see the first part. Oh yeah, the news, okay. The news rant. The news recently figured out showing the craziest people on the other side, they can scare you into watching more and being hooked on their string. Oh yeah. But what they do is say the other party's crazy and beyond reason, so either they can't be reasoned with or they don't deserve to be because they're crazy. So when people talk, whenever they hear an opinion on either side, they shut down and either yell or refuse to listen, becoming the crazy feminist or unlistening bigot to the other side. Yeah. We talked about the feminist thing last night or the night before, where a few years ago, last night definitely, when we were talking about the kid in the hotel chain who was dealing with the customer was goading him, calling him homophobic slurs and all this kind of nonsense, and then the kid lost it and had a mental breakdown and broke the computer at the service desk and all of this. He was hitting himself, and they recorded that and they posted that on social media. It went viral, and all of a sudden, it's a crazy white boy. Don't give this crazy white boy a gun. And they used to do that a few years ago. They probably still do in some circles, but I haven't seen it in a while. Yeah, I mentioned this last night. They used to go to like feminist protests, SJW-ish protests or whatever, leftist protests or whatever. Find the most wild-looking person, brightly colored hair, elaborate garb or whatever, find the craziest one they could and then goad them until they would set off, till they would get pissed off, record them, put that online and like, look at these crazy colored hair feminists. Look at these crazy SJWs. That's the narrative they want to spend. They want to tell you. Don't even know who Ben Shapiro is. Worried if you do, you'll get tangled up in it all. Your mental health isn't that bad, but you could do without the politics. Don't want to avoid real issues, but you don't want to fill your head with it. Yeah, don't watch Ben Shapiro. He's not really politics as he is political entertainment. He's a dumbass. I am in the same vein, I suppose. I am a political entertainer, by and large. I suppose. The refusing to listen is huge. Your brother is a lot like that. He'd never have conversations with me about being trans, being a woman, because he knows how the world works and will immediately yell if I say something that will be critical towards society. Yeah. There are a lot of people who get... there are a lot of people who are following those kind of the news outlets we were talking about earlier, the ones where they're putting out opinions their audience already has, right? And the reason they're putting out those opinions, the things that their audience already agrees with, is because those people don't want to know the way the world works. They don't want to understand any of it. They want to be angry at something without any valid reasoning for it, and they just want to go back to being comfortable. They want to be pissed off at something, but they don't want to have a valid reason to be angry at it. They just want to be angry at something, right? And these kind of news outlets facilitate that kind of mindset. So... yeah, like I said, the Fox News thing, Sky News thing, a lot of Murdoch media actually, where the news articles are laden with opinion, where the talking heads are laden with opinion, coercive, manipulative use of language, and as a result, you've got people who don't listen to the news, they listen to entertainment that is styled like the news. And thus, you see someone at a news desk reading the news, and you see your favorite talking head at a news desk reading the news, definition interpreting the news according to their own opinions or the opinions of the studio who wants to rile up their audience. And I forget where I was going with this. There was a point to add on to this. It contributes to outrage culture, and outrage culture, of course, facilitates ad revenue by and large. If you're watching a Ben Shapiro video where he's talking about whatever the latest craze is, whether it's WAP or Elliot Page being trans or whatever, when you're watching him and then he's selling to you his Ben Shapiro club, like Steven Crowder has got a mug club or whatever, I'm sure Ben Shapiro has got a similar subscription service or something. They treat it as though they are the news media. They act as though they are the news media, but they are news entertainment. They are political entertainment. And their whole thing is just to sell you something you already believe in. They've taken from you your opinions and sold them back to you so that you have something to be pissed off about. And when you're pissed off about something, you'll be like, well, what's the next step of this thing so I can continue to be pissed off about it? So they'll do a follow-up video a little bit later on, or they'll do a new story that comes and relates back to an old story. And things of that nature. The Elliot Page thing, I forget what else it was. Oh, you know what it was? In the Elliot Page video, we reacted to the Elliot Page video a while back. And in that, he started with, Elliot Page is a trans man. And then he starts just spiraling off into a bunch of different semi-related trans topics and eventually gets onto sexuality by the end of the video. It's not related to anything, but it's opinions his audience already holds, and he's just informing those opinions. He's just reigniting the flame in their heads. Get pissed off about trans people because you don't understand it. Get pissed off about all these different sexualities that you don't understand. Get angry that the status quo is being broken before your very eyes. It's ridiculous. Hey, Rooster, how's it going? At least the left has a coherent narrative behind the right being evil. It's combative. Wouldn't say it's wrong. Yeah, there's definitely people on the left who are absolutely combative types. But we have the information on our side. The notion that I've seen is the right tends to just give you an idea, and the left is stuck fact-checking it, by and large. F in the chat for Ben's Dr. Wife. Rip in peace, Ben's Dr. Wife. How dare he not make you wet? I know, Vagabond. How good is Elliot Page? Good lord. Araphos Man 5334. Welcome to the Rogue Room. How you doing? How's it going? Been an amazing day. Sucks it came to an end 3 minutes ago. Aww. How do you get over voice dysphoria? I have intense voice dysphoria. I fucking hate my voice. I just sort of train myself to sound as effeminate as I can, but I don't know. You know, there are other things that I like about myself that I focus more on. It's tricky though. It's certainly tricky. Speedy, welcome to the Rogue Room. I thought you were already following, honestly, Speedy. You look familiar. Yeah, voice dysphoria is a tricky one because, you know, the only way you can really fix it is, yeah, voice lessons or, which is expensive, or vocal surgery, which is expensive. Not a lot you can do about it. Ben Shapiro spends his time giving gun shows to teenage girls on Facebook Live. Wait, what? What? Everybody to a certain extent has voice dysphoria. Oh, I agree. I think there's a lot of people out there who really hate their voice. And especially me being in this kind of like... Honestly, doing this helps because I am actively training my voice while I'm streaming. So I am learning how to shift the way that I speak on an almost daily basis by continuing to stream in this format, I think, because I'm going on and on for 3 hours at a time. So in that regard, I'm doing my own type of vocal training. I know a few of the basics of how to bring my voice up here rather than how to bring it... I can't even do my old voice before, how it used to be. Because I used to... there was a video clip from a while back where we showed how I used to sound. And there is a notable difference in how I sound nowadays. Forgot I was trans, got caught up in the convo. That's good! I mean, it kind of... I don't hate that I'm trans. I'm very proud of the fact. But, you know, one of the ambitions that a lot of trans people tend to have is passing, of course, which is a very toxic and negative thing. Feeds into some bad attitudes. However, there are a lot of people who have such dysphoria that all they want to do is pass. All they want to be is a passing trans person. So if you forget that I'm trans, which ultimately, you know, if we're in any sort of interaction, I would really prefer that you forget that I'm trans and not think of me as the trans person I'm interacting with. I'd rather be thought of as the person you're interacting with, which I realize is a hard thing to do for a lot of people for a lot of different reasons. Race, sex, gender, age. You know, I find it difficult to dismiss someone's age when I'm talking to them. Even if they are the most polite person, even if we completely agree politically or whatever it is, when I'm in a conversation with a significantly older person, I still mentally check them as that older person. I don't think of them as just another person. It's very difficult to do that kind of thing. I've heard vocal surgery can work. I think Samantha Lux had vocal surgery, and her voice is fairly feminine. You know, I couldn't... If you watch a Samantha Lux video without knowing she's trans, which is difficult because 99% of her content is about the fact that she's trans, I feel like you wouldn't know. You know, I feel like you would not be able to tell that she's transgender. She passes so effortlessly. Fucking makeup artists, man. Jesus. Don't even think about Abby as trans most of the time because your brain would go, this is Abby, she's a trans woman, but still a woman, so treat her like any other woman. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just condense it down. Brevity is the soul of wit. This is Abby, she is a woman. There you go, done. Just woken up from sleep. Crab, how you doing, German? Hope you are well. True acceptance is people not giving a shit. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I've heard most vocal surgeries are pretty risky too. That's kind of what I'm worried about. It's like, I would like to get the vocal surgery, honestly. However, I'm also scared that it could go wrong. In the same vein as getting other surgeries. No, Abby is Abby, the most awesome person on Twitch. Thank you so kindly, Rooster, you fucking legend. Oh yeah, tabletop role-playing games. I've got to get into one of those at some point. I've got to get into a TTRPG at some point. Everyone's doing it. I should get in on it. Surgeries can go wrong. You can share a link if you want. Yes, I know surgeries can go terribly wrong. Don't get surgeries, just... Well, no. That kind of attitude is exactly why there are people who are skeptical of any kind of medicine. if we start saying shit like, surgeries can go wrong, the COVID vaccine's going to have side effects and all this kind of stuff, then people freak the fuck out and they no longer want to trust medicine. But medicine is a science, and science is experimentation by its very definition. So you have to trust it a bit, otherwise we never progress anywhere. Abby No Pixel arc. I've never looked into what the No Pixel stuff's about. Is that like a GTA roleplay thing? That's what that is, isn't it? You treat her like any other woman, flirts respectfully. Happily run one for some folks. There was also Phage ran the idea. Oh no, I put the idea out of like a girls' gaming night. I'm still contemplating that in my head. Still running my head through that one. Because I would like to do it. I wouldn't mind getting a bunch of gal pals. Oh my god, dude. Look at the guns. Jesus. Can I just admire myself for a second? Oh my goodness. Oh. Hang on. You can still see this fucking tan line here. This is from like weeks and weeks ago. I want to show off my back area. Hang on. Alex Puccio. I'll have to look them up. Hang on. I can get a decent look at my back here. Look. Can I was talking about this on Twitter before I got suspended today. I train back, but I never see it. I can see it now. I need a better shot. Look at that. I've got some muscular definition there. Anyway. It's like, why would you train back? Why would you get a back tattoo? For example. Why would you get a back tattoo? You're never going to see it. It's for other people. Same as working out your back muscles, Oos. Oh my god, I actually do have that's not cleavage, that's a pec line. Oh my god, I still have pecs. I got pecs and tits. What the fuck? This is weird. People can't mentally conceive odds, so they cut out "it could be me." Yeah, true. That comes back to the whole idea of invulnerability, medical invulnerability sort of thing. You get the BBL, you might see your abs again. That'd be weird. BBL, Octoplush tattoo. You get the Octoplush. He can be Squid, like from Bloodborne. I'm a bi person's dream. That's not the first time I've heard that. I love the fact that has been something I've heard on several occasions now. The first time I heard it was from a friend who was like, "You're a bisexual's wet dream." And then a couple of other people have said it to me as well. And now it's cropping up in chat and I'm like, okay, I kind of love this. Androgyny is based. Let's fucking go. Not convinced it's a compliment? I mean, it means I'm hot to some people. And that's the confidence aspect of it, honestly. I'm wearing a top, so it's like a little crop toppy thing, and then matching pantaloons, which are very, very soft and nice and warm. Anyway. I get what you mean though, Draco. I think I get what you mean. Whenever you see him streaming GTA, it's No Pixel. Oh, okay. So it's like roleplay on GTA. I've heard of that. I've heard of the GTA RP scene. Yeah, don't use the term, like, use it for me. I don't like being, I don't mind being referred to as a bisexual's wet dream. That's fine. But, don't, well, true, kind of implies you're not just a woman, true. But, I mean, that's the thing, right? Is I've heard people use that kind of terminology, or that kind of speak. I mean, it's a tricky area, but I've heard people refer to particularly androgynous men who identify as men, but they'll be like, oh my god, as a bisexual, I find him attractive in many ways. I suppose that's kind of the same vibe. Your snail's dream, you give him strawberries. Ooh, I like strawberries. Hello, Kiara, how's it going? Yeah, androgyny is pretty poggers, not gonna lie. Medicine's fucking amazing. Imagine being alive at any other point in history to get an infected cut, you just die, I know. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I can understand as a bisexual trying to avoid it, because you could definitely offend somebody. You're Coral. I'm doing alright. It's like dude positivity. You just kind of be aware of where the other person's head is at. Very true. Very true. Have a good one, Vagabond. Thank you so kindly for being here. Love your face. Thought of a similar thing back in college in 2006. I don't know how I read that as an 8. 2006, that andro and trans are perfect for bis. Yeah, what is dude positivity? Or do you mean like the term dude as like as a gender neutral, like everyone calling everyone dudes? Is that what you mean, or is there a different thing there? But yeah, I can definitely see someone who is trans being upset by that kind of phrasing. Yeah, it would be tricky. It'd certainly be tricky. But yeah, now I want to know what dude positivity is. I'm intrigued. Call me. You can make a crass comment, yes, if you wish. Absolutely. I feel like the dude's the English equivalent to amigo at this point, but isn't there amiga as well? I think. Let me see. It makes no difference that you are a woman because of it. Yeah, isn't that term gendered? Amiga. Don't start with the X shit. I will punch someone. You want to be a lesbian's dream? I mean, I can appreciate that. I'd like to be a lesbian's dream too. If a trans woman is fine with being referred to that word, you've heard it described as them being dude positive. Oh, I see. Say you guys a lot. Noise get scared. Someone will be uncomfortable. Yeah, that's the tricky thing. Trixon's Womixon. The idea of having these masculine features that would make me appealing for someone both male and female attractions. Yeah, I think I get that. I understand that completely. Trixon sounds cool. I got suspended on Twitter for 12 hours earlier today because I posted a tweet that had the word cunt several times in it. And it wasn't aggressive. It wasn't attacking anyone. I just used the word cunt too many times and somebody must have reported it and got me suspended. Or the algorithm picked it up. You don't mean to fetishize trans people with the whole, oh, hey, this person presents and looks every bit like a cis woman, but like, oh. It's just a nice surprise. The feminine penis. Yeah, stupid bullshit. There's a cunt quota, sadly. If you hit... It is racist to Australians. I probably shouldn't say that. As someone who was learning about actual racism, I probably shouldn't joke about the term racism. It's an old joke, though. The thing about guys as a word you find is that from a femme-presenting person, it always seems gender neutral, but from a masc-presenting person... Yes! I have noticed this. I recently saw a mother at either when I was picking up my daughter from school or at the playground or something like that. And she says, come on, guys. Here's this mother. She says, come on, guys, to her two daughters. And in that circumstance, it was gender neutral. If there were boys present and they were a part of the group and she said, come on, guys, it'd be gender neutral. The moment a dude says it, and I have the same kind of thing with the term mate. I don't mind if a woman calls me mate. It feels gender neutral. The moment a man does it, for some reason it picks up a masculine connotation. I don't know what the psychology is there, but there's certainly something going on in my head that is saying to me, this is a masculine term you're being referred to as. And I think, yeah, the same could apply to guys, dudes, and other such terminologies that we use on a day-to-day basis. It's really bizarre. I don't know what exactly it is that's going on there. Shouldn't call you mate. I don't know. I'm really weird about the phrase mate to begin with. I've never liked it anyway. It's not even just specifically a gender thing. I just don't like the word, which is funny because I use it as a joke on occasion. Never thought about it before. Yeah, it's weird. Champ. I don't get champ often enough to make a judgment call on that one. Buddy is another one. If a dude calls me buddy, which doesn't happen often, for the record. Masculinized. Technically, amigo is a male word, but it's friend regardless of gender because Spanish every word has a grammatical gender, so like tables are girls and video games are guys. Oh, I see. Interesting. I'm not your mate guy. I'm not your guy, friend. Want to be a gay's dream, but in the in-gay community, if you don't have muscles, you aren't attractive. I saw Jeff Britlag talking about that earlier, where it's like there's a specific lean in the gay community towards muscularity, where if someone is not particularly muscular in the gay community, they lose a bit of value there, which is kind of upsetting, when you think about it. A bit of but I mean, I'm not in the male gays community, so I can't speak to that end. Bonks chat. Why are we bonking chat? Mate sounds a little condescending sometimes. It definitely does. It certainly does. But there are definitely instances where I've had someone call me mate, and it's even if it doesn't mean to be condescending, I read it as condescending. I hear it as condescending. I thought you were horny bonking, chat, and I'm like, are we horny at the moment? Chat's not particularly horny right now. It's a phase. Dad calls you sunshine. Ew. Ew, no sunshine, please. Yeah, just bonk, chat. Go crazy. Do what you want. Here's the thing, though. I wanted to mention this. Am I allowed to mention this? Am I allowed to talk about... I don't know. I want to talk about this thing for a second. Don't see an issue with having a preference, and if that aligns, isn't that like boobs? I suppose. Pet chat better. What if we are horny? You know, I'll find someone that will like... Yeah, that's the ideal, right? Is you want to find someone who will like you for who you are. So this is why I don't like the idea of dating apps. I don't like the idea of going out of my way to try to date someone, because I feel like that's just facilitating bad behavior that could result in a really negative relationship. I would rather find someone in my life that I engage with in a way that feels like we have a mutual respect. You know, begin with a friendship, and if it evolves from there, fantastic. But I'm not in any rush for any of that sort of shit, and I'm not going to download dating apps again. Although I thought about doing it for a joke. I thought about downloading Tinder for a gag, just to see what would happen. You know, I do a joke account like my friend has, for the fun of it. You know, I would rather have a relationship form naturally than try to make it happen, you know. Because I feel like, you know, if you start dating somebody off a dating app, if you go into a relationship just straight off the bat, let's go get coffee, let's go on a date, and then let's go on another date, and let's get hot and heavy, let's go through all the different bases, whatever. And then 2 years down the track, you discover they're a Nazi or something. I don't want to end up dating a Nazi, okay? I am sorry. For a gag, I need FetLife. Yeah, with love, take your time. It could come out of nowhere, yeah. A bio always says jack shit about people's personality, exactly. And obviously Tinder is a hot or not app, so if you're going onto a dating app and you're trying to find someone based on purely their physical attraction, their physical attractiveness, you're gonna have a bad time.
You are now one of us.
Draco, thank you for gifting a sub to German. You fucking legend. You absolute foot you, Draco. I was so Nazi-phobic. Oh gosh, I gotta be careful. Shh, guys, be careful. Folks. Be careful. Listen, be careful. Be very careful. Because Bad Bunny got a 2-week suspension on Twitch. And she speculates that because she's a political leftist streamer, this seems like a Nazi brigade. You might recall a while back I got a suspension, an indefinite suspension on Twitch. And here's what she got. Twitch is committed to keeping blah 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 blah. Based on a review of your activity or content, we've issued a community guideline strike on your account. As a result, your access to Twitch services is temporarily restricted for 14 days for hateful conduct, promoting, encouraging, or facilitating the discrimination or denigration of a group of people based on their protected characteristics. She's a very leftist streamer. And the thing is, Bunny streams for like 8 hours at a time. So to find the specific bit of content that might have got her suspended in the first place makes this a very complicated situation. Nicole, Bad Bunny, is a partnered Twitch streamer. And yeah, it's so vague. How is she to know exactly what the content is so she can address the actual situation? Twitch does this shit. I got a vague suspension, right? And they claimed it was because of my username. I still refuse to believe that my indefinite suspension, which ended up only being a week, thankfully, I refuse to believe it was just because of the name. I still think I got brigaded by transphobic trolls who just spammed the report button until Twitch did something. Because that was right around the time of the super straight thing. For the record, do not say the phrase super straight in my chat. My bot will suspend you. For a second. You'll be fine. It's not going to hurt you that much. And still no clearer word on... Yeah, and like this is a Twitch partner. Draco... Oh, yeah, the bot can't get you. One of the things you learn as an admin is that making your ban reasons clear allows for less argument and makes appealing the ban a lot easier, which they don't want to do. There we go. The bot going. Why not ban the straights while we're at it? Or just ban straight? No. But yeah, I think this situation here is most certainly Twitch intentionally being vague because, yeah, like you said, it's if someone knows exactly why they got suspended, then yeah, ideally the ban appeal process is easier. But they don't want that. They don't want any staff wasting any time dealing with this shit. They just want to put out an essentially almost automated suspension. Almost automated. Yeah, it's a little fluffy glove things. They're very comfy. They should want that given regaining as a thing. Actually being transparent helps. Like Twitch has ever done anything to facilitate transparency on their platform. They are so vague on a perpetual basis. It is infuriating anytime that we have to deal with anything on Twitch. Because they'll implement something, or somebody will get suspended, or this or that or the other, and they will never explain their reasoning. And it feels like it's on purpose. Like they want the platform to not be as good as it could be. For some reason. Bad Bunny's Twitch is just Bad Bunny as one word. But yeah, you can't access it right now because she's suspended. But yeah, I dislike the way that Twitch deals with this sort of stuff. And I really wish they would change it. And Twitch did eventually get around to repealing my suspension over a username. Okay, yeah, it was the username that was the problem. Because there are other people on the platform that have the word BXTCH in their name, or have some variant. There was a partnered streamer I saw recently that had Biarch, which did have an X in there. It was like BIAXTCH or something like that. So there are numerous streamers who've got some variant of a sweary word. And even worse. I've seen even worse than that. I've seen people with like the straight up N-word in their name who are streamers, not just chat trolls or whatever. You know, I've seen a number of accounts where it's like, oh, well, if my account got a suspension for the username, why haven't their accounts got a suspension for the username? And if it's such a problem that they don't want people using that particular spelling, then maybe they should refine their naming algorithm so that when you're naming your account, you can't circumvent the system so easily. Have you thought about that, Twitch? It was literally bitch with an X where the I is. You think you could maybe put that in there? But they're not going to fix it. I got suspended on Twitter because I posted a tweet that said the word cunt like 7 times. Every time somebody asks, oh, well, on Twitch a while back, it was the username. I'm RogueBX now. I used to be RogueBitch, but X where the I is. Anyway, seems like a failure on their part to allow that username to go through. Exactly. And I've seen people come in chat with literal Holocaust denialism as their name. You know, I've seen people come in chat with the most reprehensible shit. Ocho, you fucking legend. Thank you for the 100 bits. Anyways. Swearing, yeah, banning people for swear words is absolutely stupid. Yeah, I'm a champion, welcome to the Rogue Room. And yeah, worth it. I am going to change my name next month. I have a name change on the 17th, is because what happened is after they unsuspended me, they changed my name, which uses the one name change you get. Like you get a name change and then you got 60 days before you can change it again. So they used that one on me, so I didn't even get the choice. I'm RogueBX by Twitch's decision making. But I have a name in mind for when I eventually get the opportunity to change it myself. Anyways. But yeah, it's really weird that you can get any sort of suspension for a language violation. Saying, like, you know, if your name has a naughty word in it. I've been growing my hair out for about 2, maybe 3 years now. I want to say 2 years. Actually, I could probably look. Give me a sec. I would say, I think it was about, there's definitely an image. Yeah, I'm going to say, like, at some point in 2019, before I was out and proud and super ultra gay, Strange Doll, welcome to the Rogue Room. So, 2-ish years. Say 2-ish years. It's my new username probably won't even have Rogue in it, but we are going to keep the Rogue Room as an aesthetic. Like Fush and Chops. I guess Twitter just doesn't understand New Zealand and Australians' way of talking, yeah, I know. It's ridiculous. Cunt is not a naughty word here. It's a very nice word, actually. I call my friends cunts all the time. Taking so many vodka shots, like you do that to my stomach gets queasy whenever yeah. Growing your locks around the same time, awesome. It's fucking awesome. I love long hair. I think it's great. I should take my hair out. I've noticed I've stopped wearing my headbands as much. I've become more confident in the way my hair looks. Because I used to sort of wear them just because it was A, a cute accessory, and B, it would distract from insecurities I had around the way my hair looks. So, and now I quite like the way my hair looks, and I am rather fond of it. Look at this. It's nice and fluffy. Look at me. I'm pretty now. I've not heard the word bollocks thrown around all that much. I have heard it on occasion, but not too often. I think that's mostly a UK thing. Now I feel like some Fush and Chops, mate. And I can't have any. Can't have any. Oh no. Oh no. Please don't tell me. Alright. Okay, we can relieve ourselves for a moment. I was worried. Because I think there was that really creepy game, like live action recorded game, where you're a chat moderator in a Twitch streamer's stream, and I think it was called Gamer Girl, and the hashtag Gamer Girl is trending in Australia, and I'm like, oh god no, please don't tell me that game has come back around into circulation. Oh god no. Oh good lord. Oh. I don't know what happened to that game, it just sort of disappeared. There was a trailer for it, and then it just disappeared off the face of the earth. I hope it never released. But it was really weird, because the idea was, you would play a chat moderator in a streamer's stream, and you would basically be manipulating the streamer to protect her. Like, she'd get into a dangerous situation with her streaming, and you're a chat moderator trying to protect the streamer lady. Super fucking weird, man. Everyone hated it. Anyway, yeah, bollocks is more of a UK thing. It's an interesting word, though. I have used it on occasion. No salons are open, so your hair is the same shoulder length way. It should be past your shoulders. Oh, okay. So many sexist tropes happening all at once. Peak incel. Yeah, it was really horrible. If I can find the trailer, we can play it. Yeah, it was FMV. That's the way it was. FMV game, yes. Anyways, I am going to take a quick break. We're at halftime. We're going to hit the be right back really quickly. I'm going to run an ad break. I haven't run an ad break this entire stream, so anyone who's gotten caught with regular ads, sorry. At any rate, we'll be back shortly. Don't go away. Talk amongst yourselves, be kind to yourselves and each other as always. if I might be completely candid with you folks for a moment, something that I really, a major failing of my own, I should really invest in more cardigans that button down. I keep buying shit that goes over the head. I'm like, it'd be so much more convenient to buy shit with buttons like this one. Why do I keep buying stuff that I have to like pull on over the top and it's awkward? And I have Apple. You can be envious of my Apple. Because it gets to go in my mouth and you don't. What did I miss? Commie scum, by the way, this is just Streambeats Synthwave. If you are at all curious, folks. I never really listen to anything else because I am lazy, you see. Streambeats has a bunch of different soundtracks you can listen to. There's synthwave, there's lo-fi, there's a bunch of other stuff too. I haven't really paid much attention to it. I think there's a hip-hop playlist. And they're DMCA free. And yes, cardigans are super important. They really are. Not to be super political, but Granny Smiths are the only good apples. I agree. Granny Smiths are based. Apple politics. Are we gonna get into Apple discourse? Speaking of politics, can I bring up the stupidest fucking thing I think I've seen all day? They are appealing. They are very appealing. Can I bring up the stupidest fucking thing I've seen all day with regards to politics? You want to know what I saw today? You want to know the article I stumbled across? Who knows Craig Kelly? Who knows of MP Craig Kelly, the Australian MP, politician? He's had a few controversies. I'm trying to find out what has he said. Let me think. He's opposed the First Nations voice to Parliament, described in the Uluru Statement from the Heart, describing it as divisive and a reverse form of apartheid. What else is there? One of the only 3 members of the House. There was really something. There was something big and like this guy's a super big fucking asshole thing recently about Craig Kelly. Basically, he's a wanker who is a politician. He's really a wanker politician, right? And now this Australian politician has had enough of cyberpunk's woke damage types. Someone is finally speaking up about the real issues, be they physical, thermal, EMP, or chemical. For some, politics in games are a touchy subject, but Australian MP Craig Kelly seems far more concerned with the outright depravity of Cyberpunk 2077's 4 elemental damage types. And I would not expect that Craig Kelly would know anything about Cyberpunk 2077. You know, like, what the fuck? I don't know. Okay, so. On Saturday, Kelly attempted to weigh in on the topic of Dr. Seuss's estate choosing to cease publication of 6 of the author's books, currently a hot issue among conservative circles. This was published 2 days ago. Who gives a fuck about the Dr. Seuss thing anymore? And by comparing it to the news that Cyberpunk 2077 is selling almost 500,000 copies in Australia, that's a strange comparison to make, but it gets stranger when Kelly explains what exactly his issues are with CD Projekt's latest. What type of world do we live in today when the woke try and cancel Dr. Seuss while Cyberpunk 2077 is all the rage, where 4 types of damage can be inflicted and resisted: physical, thermal, EMP, and chemical, clearly promoting great woke wholesome values? Literally, what the fuck does any of that mean? Craig, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm just like genuinely entirely baffled here. What does this mean? What does this mean? Why does he think Cyberpunk, by its own definition, is a woke game to begin with? What is this? Kelly is a pathetic and confused boomer. He is. I really don't understand. Like, I'm confused. I'm looking at this and I'm like, what? Yeah, like literally we get into the next part of it. I'm having a hell of a time trying to figure this one out, readers. CP2077, I shouldn't call it CP2077. Faced its fair share of criticism since release. Stop playing your video, you're distracting me. Launching in a bug-ridden state and inducing seizures in some players. Forget that, Kelly claims. Cyberpunk's real problem is that its 4 damage types represent the hypocrisy of woke culture. It means his kids are playing Cyberpunk and ignoring him. That could be it. It could be one of his kids has literally just been telling him about the damage types in the game. It's like, oh, this game's really cool. There's all these different damage types. How are we, paragons of virtue that we are, meant to be taken seriously when I've let slide that Cyberpunk lets us resist and inflict thermal damage? Love these made-up cancelling trends. Who was trying to cancel Eminem? Why do people think people trying to cancel Eminem? Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. Took an early 90s conservative take on gaming and mixed it up with empty 2020 catchwords. Perhaps Kelly really does have his finger on the pulse of a long-suffering society. My family and I are living in constant fear of the 4 damage types, especially EMP. One poor soul in the replies cries. This is great. My wife has knife blades in her forearms, and that would devastate us if she could no longer use them. The 4 damage types destroyed my family, and not even my wrist daggers or my sister's gun arms could save them. Help us return to normality, Craig. Oh, fuck. Time will tell if voters respond to this promise to finally deal with the specter of the 4 damage types. We can only hope. Ben Rock, welcome to the Rogue Room. I don't understand. I can't understand this. I can't fathom this. It gets better. Skill up. What? And I cannot stress this enough. The fuck are you talking about? Oh no, I can't look at it. I can't like a tweet. I'm suspended on Twitter. This was written by a Markov chain. Oh fuck. Oh no, stupid babies need the most attention. Hey Craig, it has an age restriction. It's R18. It's multimedia intended and restricted to adults, much like any other R18 multimedia, e.g. horror movies. It's a false comparison. It's a children's book being compared to an R18 adults product. Furthermore, the books that were banned, the books that were removed from publication by the Seuss estate, were removed from publication because they were explicitly using racist imagery in a vast portion of them. You know? They were explicitly outdated books. There was a reason the Seuss estate pulled them. Like, what is the narrative he's going for here? Craig, I assure you the kids will find it more valuable to know about damage types and resistances than about cats in hats. Yes, furry fingerless gloves. Aren't they adorable? Are they not fucking adorable? Look at me. They got buttons. Why do they have buttons? I do not know why they have buttons. They don't have anything to button to. But they have buttons. And little fluffy bits. We are all stupid babies in this moment. I think Craig Kelly is speaking on just another level of intellect. You know how in Bloodborne, to use a comparison that we stupid gamers might get, because we're so stupid and dumb and woke and everything, and Craig Kelly is clearly enlightened. Craig Kelly is like the people in Bloodborne who planted eyes on their brain. You know? Grant us eyes. Craig Kelly has insight. He's got eyes on his brain, so he understands that cancelling Dr. Seuss while allowing a video game for adults that has 4 different damage types that can be inflicted and resisted is hypocrisy of the woke left. Craig Kelly is big brain, and he is big brain because he has eyes on his brain. He sees more than the rest of us. He gets it. Very high intellectual politician, man. Conservatives, they always leave out that it was Dr. Seuss's estate. This is absolutely indicative that, quite frankly, if you were ever a conservative and you paid any attention whatsoever about the Dr. Seuss thing, that should have made you a non-conservative the moment that news broke. Because the information was all out there. The Seuss estate made a statement that those 6 particular books that they were removing from publication were being removed because their views were outdated and propagandistic and racist and and more to the point, no one ever heard of the fucking things. These particular books, not Green Eggs and Ham, not The Cat in the Hat, not The Lorax, but 6 books that nobody had read, nobody cared about. They weren't removing Dr. Seuss from publication. They were taking away 6 books that nobody cared about, and the conservatives took the story that the woke left was trying to destroy Dr. Seuss. All you had to do was look at the Dr. Seuss page to find out that's not the case. At all, it never was. Right? Nobody's ever read those books. Yeah. And if you were still a conservative after that, I pity you. What will Craig do now that he can't read Green Eggs and Ham? Free markets rule till someone stops being racist. Why do they make fake pockets? Oh, I know. I mean, I can get it. I've got a pair of jean leggings, where they've only got 2 back pockets and the front pockets aren't actual pockets. And I kind of get it from the perspective of jeggings are supposed to be form-fitting, basically leggings. So you don't want clunky bits. But yeah, I've seen many women's pants and skirts and shirts with fake pockets. And I'm like, why the fuck do you do this? On women's clothing is a political issue. You saw a video about it just to do with us not needing to carry money. Fair point. I mean, obviously it's already rooted in misogyny. I was about to say misogynism. It's obviously rooted in misogyny, but to think about the concept of not needing to carry money because you'll have a man with you, won't you? That's the implication there, is that the man, the breadwinner, is going to have all the money in his wallet. A woman doesn't need pockets because she's not going to be carrying money around. And of course, there is the implication that, buy a handbag if you want to store shit. Which is just another thing we have to carry around. And accessorize with our outfits. LeVar Burton made it quite clear Dr. Seuss has entertained and educated entire generations of kids. Misogynism. No one wants the books gone, but the estate felt that those 6 were no longer relevant and definitely insensitive. Yeah, bingo. Exactly. And the thing, do we need to get into, on the same subject of educating kids and entertaining people, LeVar Burton being a guest host on Jeopardy or something like that. I think it was something like that. There was a news publication that posted an article saying, "Oh, LeVar Burton, thanks to audience outcry, is going to be a guest host on Jeopardy." The amount of fucking racism in the comments was insane. A lot of people saying that putting him on as a guest host was the woke agenda and all this kind of shit. It's like, dude, he's an entertaining black performer. And they just literally don't want him to be the host of their little quiz show because he's a black man. Like, you can't even veil that racism. There's nothing for them to hide behind as a justification. It's literally just, he's black, I don't want him on my televisions. Says the old people. It's so dumb. I swear the racism has gotten even more flagrant in the past 10 years. 2 years. 4 and a bit years. Trump administration. Spent 30 years wearing male clothes with more pockets than you could ever need. Could have a pocket for each item. Cargo pants. Cargo pants. Yeah, the Reading Rainbow guy. The dude with the visor in Star Trek The Next Generation. Wonder why racism got so popular all of a sudden. Yeah, funny that. Couldn't have anything to do with the flagrantly racist orange president or anything like that. It's scary how outdated some people are. Can we please throw them in the bin? They're clearly expired. And yeah, LeVar Burton has always struck me as a really, just genuinely good person. All the closet racists came out, yeah. That's really it. Although I don't like using the term closet to disturb them, to define them, because you know we associate the term closet with being gay, coming out of the closet. Anyway, you said something before. Someone said something before that I wanted to read and I forgot. Oh, Crystal Faye. Making women carry purses because capitalism, but also keeping them more vulnerable to theft to make them feel weaker and in need of protection. This is sociology, folks. This is theory. We get into the handbag thing. This is theory. Got emboldened by a massive racist orange turd in power. Oh yeah. Can we put racists in jail? Well, I do agree mask off is better. This looks like I'm exposing my nipple now. It's a top. Yeah, octopus on the mic. Literally nobody. Trump supporters. How can he be racist? He's orange. Did you see the thing? There was a thing where 75% something. I forget what it was. There was a TikTok, a screenshot of a TikTok. Where was it? I can't find it now. I don't know what to search. There was a TikTok of a girl, or a screenshot of a TikTok of a girl, where she's like, how are people saying I'm not POC? I'm like 75% Dutch and 25% Norwegian, or some nonsense like that. People were making the joke that she's like, I forget what it was, like 75% mayonnaise and 25% something else that's routinely associated with white people. It's like, dude. Some people genuinely think white means American. Not vanilla, there was something else. No, she wasn't being ironic. Also, yes, she was saying it unironically. So, yes. You wonder what's going to happen to Trump supporters, even if he does run for president again. What will they do in the meantime? Continue to be racist on Facebook, probably. Duly kind, welcome to the Road Group. I'm POC, I'm part white and part another variety of white. But there are a bunch of privileged kids out there, and yes, I am going to throw around the word privileged, who genuinely will look at their ancestry and pick at any single opportunity they can to determine that they are at least a teeny bit POC, so they can justify the notion, I suppose, at the end of the day. Justify, like, the kinds of people who really want to have something to feel oppressed about at the end of the day. Hello? You're very loud. He's very loud. Hide on Gavin Parler making shit up. Or Frank. How about Frank, the new free speech platform by the MyPillow guy, which was just seemingly a live stream of him talking conspiracy theories. Trump is a symptom. Same thing's happening in Europe, and his popularity ratings were always very low, even among conservatives, except for weird outlier cases like Poland. Yeah, they would if it worked. Only possible hint of you having any POC was DNA heritage that said he got like 1% West Asian. I had a friend. Still have I don't know if he's still my friend or not. We haven't spoken in ages. Anyway, the Frank speech launch slapped. You don't know why so many people slapped in it. Have you got a video of it? I wouldn't mind looking at it. Was sold as a platform and ended up being a blog, basically. Yeah, as far as we could tell. And there was some screenshots of like the sign-up form. And it was an absolute programming nightmare. It was just a mess of all different text all over the screen. 48 hours of sleep deprivation didn't make the MyPillow guy any more rational. Yeah, the free speech site which bans you for saying God is a cunt. I know, right? What do they think? What do they think free speech is exactly? And even their interpretation of free speech is wrong. But my viewpoint is we should shift the narrative of what free speech is to less you can criticize the government and more, you know, you should be allowed to express virtually any ideas to an extent. But, you know, we're getting into a tricky territory there.
Room appreciates your
Karma Girl, thank you for the host. How are you doing? Got a bit of fluff off my gloves here. That's not nice. There was something I was going to say, though, that was relating to something. Oh, yeah. With the 1% West Asian thing, I had a similar situation with a friend who's very, very white. And apparently he did a DNA test at some point. And, you know, his house is very, very white ethnically. His family is very white ethnically. His name is very white ethnically. But allegedly at some point he did, and he was really into, and really still is into martial arts as far as I know. But at some point he did like an ancestry test and found that there was a very small percentage of like Japanese in his history, his family history. Very tiny percentage. And he would love to talk about that point as if he came from the ancestral samurai or something. It's like, there comes a point where I don't think you can really use that, you know? Bit of a weird... Anyway, if you got like 1% Japanese in you, over like 10 generations, I feel like you maybe, and especially if your family culturally adopts entirely different cultural norms, ethnic norms. You know, Nighty Night Fox, have a good one. Love when Lyndall gets dunked on. He's even weirder in person. Oh my god. I need to see more videos of this dude. He's super fucking weird. Mike Lindell is fucking weird. Too kooky for OAN and Newsmax. It's always going to be a nightmare. Did I see the dude that started off as "this dub is bad"? Is that the anime gatekeeper? Please tell me you're thinking of the anime gatekeeper dude, Lictar. The guy who posted things like, "You're not a real anime fan if you only like Dragon Ball Z and Naruto and all the normal ones." Please give me receipts. I need receipts on this dude. He is so deranged. Holy fucking shit, he's deranged. I did a video on him. We talked about his whole spiel on stream. And he got super banned, so there's not even any screenshots. God damn it. What was I going to... Oh yeah, let's go through this. The anime gatekeeper, where was he? Yeah, the weird Twitter anime gatekeeper. I did a video on him. There's plenty. What's his name? I forgot what his name is. Black Sage D. Let me see. Copy. Let's Google this and see if I can find him. Here we go. Twitter. Oh, yep. Of fucking course. Old mate has the fucking super straight flag in his username. Why am I suspended on this platform again? Anyways. We're doing a lot of Twitter content tonight for someone who can't respond to anything on Twitter. Let me see here. Okay, so... Alright. Thinking of a different guy. Oh, okay. So this is weird. Okay. Alright. Super straight lol. Damn it. Ben, you will get a 1 second timeout by my bot every time you mention the phrase super straight, for the record. You're fine though. I'm not punishing you. At this point, I'm just finding it amusing. If you guys want to time yourselves out for a second, just say super straight in chat. Definitely don't apologize. I think it's fucking hilarious at this point. Because the super straight thing kind of disappeared. Anyway, yeah, it doesn't work on mods. Okay. So he's got a pinned tweet that I find rather interesting. He says, okay, and this is kind of exactly what this dude's problem is he doesn't understand, and I'm gonna talk on a racial issue. I'm gonna talk on a black issue. Okay? This is why I don't support Black Lives Matter and why no actual good person, again with the gatekeeping, should support that piece of shit movement. Instead of holding these asshole gangbangers accountable, that actually terrorize the black community on a daily basis, they're more worried about the police. And it's a link to this piece of human filth killed this beautiful little girl, and she got less coverage than a girl that tried to stab someone, and blah, 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 blah. And it's clear he doesn't understand what the Black Lives Matter movement is trying to do. You know, there can be multiple different things happening in the world at one time. Black Lives Matter was not at all mentioned in this particular thing. He just dragged it into the conversation. You know? This is why I don't support Black Lives Matter. He just dragged that into the conversation when that wasn't a part of it. This dude has issues. And someone doesn't understand the black on black crime issue. For fuck's sake, guys. My hair was curly like Thompson Twins. Now it's super straight. Super straight is like Superman. It's an alter ego that changes in the closet. Oh, God. Hello, Flaming Scott. How you doing? We have a saying in Norway that translates to you're allowed to have more than one thought in your head. Yeah, exactly. It's like... And yeah, the situation with the black on black crime thing, yes, this is reprehensible. This dude killed someone. He killed a little girl. Yes, bad, of course. But that's not what Black Lives Matter is about, and nobody was mentioning Black Lives Matter. You brought Black Lives Matter into this. You know, it's not like... Was he a promoter for Black Lives Matter? Was he an organizer for Black Lives Matter? Any of this? No. As far as we can tell, there's no connection whatsoever, so why bring it up? Why attach that to the conversation? Just because a black on black crime happens doesn't mean that Black Lives Matter is at fault for that. The Black Lives Matter movement is largely predicated upon police prejudicial attitudes towards black people, which encourages criminal activity. Well, not encourages criminal activity, actually. We were talking about this in class today. Black communities are more patrolled, more policed than white communities, including poor ones. So there's higher crime rates in black communities. Let's just say, for example, a good example was used. If there are a bunch of black kids in a park, like 16-year-old, underage, they've got some beer, they've scored some beer, they go to the park, they're drinking, a cop walks past, grabs them, arrests them, they're now in the criminal justice system. If it's a group of white kids in an affluent white community drinking beer in the park, if the cop come past, which is less likely by a significant margin, right? But if a cop were to come past that park, the cop would take the beers, pour them out, and say, go on, get out of here. That is a routine thing that does happen. I've heard that story before. That is how police racism works. Yeah, BLM was started because of police violence. But what if the cop is black? Even black cops can be a part of the system, unfortunately. Like, oh my god, that didn't go down right. Excuse me, the problem is systemic, it's not individual. It doesn't matter if the cop is black or white or Asian or whatever. The problem is systemic. I am a smart cookie, thank you. I pride myself on seemingly knowing things I think. Most of them are just made up on the spot. Half of all criticisms of BLM are whatabouts? Yeah, exactly. And yeah, probably more than that. If they police white neighborhoods as much as they did black neighborhoods, it's not just the patrolling them though. I should not have gotten apples. It's not just like the patrolling the neighborhoods though. Like there's more patrols in black neighborhoods, there's more arrests in black neighborhoods. A kid who gets caught shoplifting who is black is more likely to face more serious repercussions for that than a white kid. Similarly, literal murder. Affluenza. Who knows what affluenza is? Someone define affluenza for me. Not influenza. Someone define affluenza for me. Without looking it up. Quite literally what happened to white folks should happen to all folks. Young black folks drinking is no different to young white folks drinking. Yeah, I never learned any better is a good one. Boo-hoo, I'm so rich so I don't know how to act right. Rich white people, generally white people, more than likely. If there is, for example, college kid... How many times have you heard the story? Killy SG10 and Dooley, did I say your name too? Welcome to the Rogue Room, both of you. How many times have you heard the story of a a white college kid from a wealthy environment, wealthy background, has been charged with sexual assault or rape or something of that effect? And the story that is circulated around, because the kid happens to be from an affluent background, from a wealthy family, the news will tell the story of how the family and the lawyers and all these people involved are saying, well, they don't want to ruin his life. They don't want to destroy his future. Be honest with me. That's not an uncommon story you've heard, is it? That doesn't happen to black people, for example. If there was a black college student who happened to have either been accused of or actually legitimately did commit that kind of thing, they're not going to use that defense at all, under any stretch of the imagination. They're all too happy to destroy the future of a black kid. What are you doing? Yeah, he raped someone, fuck his future. I don't know why that is ever a defense. Oh, he made a mistake. Brock fucking Turner, yeah. Yeah, the fear. When you were a kid, the local copper lived in a small house deliberately set aside for the local copper. He'd walk around the village, talk to the people, scold the kids misbehaving, and was actually a good person to have around. He was respected, not feared. And we've talked about this before. I don't know how we got onto the cops thing, but okay, we'll just keep going. Oh yeah, Black Sage D's bullshit. Whatevs. We did watch a video which had a guy speaking on stage. We didn't actually watch the TEDx video. It was a TEDx clip in another video where this dude was going up on stage in front of a TEDx audience and saying how police should be guardians. They should be integrated members of the community that are on the same level as the members of the community. The people need to feel protected and respected, not fearful. Bill Ho, welcome to the Rogue Room. I did not hear about the Aldi crossbow attack. No, I did not. Do tell. Miscalculated the length of a piece of wood and broke your window. My mistake. I accidentally stuck my dick in someone who didn't want it. Does not equal a mistake. Yeah, exactly. Actually, who wants to watch a radfem talk about consent? Who wants to watch a radical feminist talk about consent? I do. I do. I want to watch that. Okay. Let's talk about, by the way, I'm finding myself standing more and more Clementine Ford. I used to think she was reprehensible, but yes, Clementine Ford. In response to the milkshake video, let's watch her video on consent. Okay? Get some milkshake. I want a milkshake. Someone get me a milkshake. Ew, rat fans. Are they like irradiated feminists, or like what's the deal there? Let's watch Clementine Ford's little video here. See if you can get an article. Yes, please do. Okay, it's tiny. Here we go. Let's turn the volume on, and more like rat femmes. Kind of goes a bit beyond mistake when you're accused of rape, yeah. It's my local Aldi, and there were fucking helicopters, police presence. The guy didn't get killed because he's white, yeah. Talk about how messed up this was. Hang on, let me see this. Dylan Burns. Whoever was recording this is... Oh, yeah, this is the... We talked about this last night. I might make that a video, actually. I might actually turn that into a video, because that was a big, heavy topic last night. Oh, my... Hang on. Clementine Ford... I thought something was wrong with the aesthetic tonight. Dude! I kept looking at myself in OBS and I'm like, something's wrong with my background. I didn't have my bed lights on. Clementine Ford is a feminist writer in Australia who has drawn a lot of ire because she knows how to push people's buttons. Anyway, I want to give Carl of Swindon a milkshake. Let's have a look here. Let's talk about consent with Clementine Ford. What the fuck? Oh, hang on. I know what's wrong. The site's muted. Okay.
So, are we going to talk about it? Yep, we are. Some people think that using metaphors to explain consent makes things a lot easier. But actually, we know that it's making things a lot harder. In reality, consent's not that difficult to understand. So why don't we move this to one side and have a real conversation? A lot of people talk about consent as if
So
it's
wait,
this really
Sargon of Akkad got milkshaked? Is that what happened? I'm confused.
complicated thing. Oh no, way to ruin the moment. We're going to have to sign contracts to have sex now. It's a bureaucratic nightmare. In reality, consent is actually super simple. In fact, we give consent to things every day, and we know how to ask for it too. Consent and sex is no different. So if you're
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard consensually and respectfully. Oh, live caption is great.
confused, just ask. And if you're not hearing an enthusiastic yes, then it's a no. Consent is an ongoing conversation, not a box that you tick at the start of the night and then anything goes. Unlike the conversation itself, it can be ended or withdrawn at any time. No explanation required. You're allowed to change your mind whenever you want, no matter how far into a sexual act you may be, how many times you've done it with your sexual partner in the past,
For fuck's
or
sake,
how much
Draco.
you may have been enjoying yourself just moments prior. Respect matters, and respect is at the core of consent. Talk to the people you're having sex with. Ask them what they like. Ask them what they want. And listen to the answers they give you. It's really not that hard. So whatever kind of sex we're having, and with however many people, it's essential that we have enthusiastic consent from everyone at all times. It's really that simple. There's no need to overflavor the milkshake on this. Sex is supposed to be fun for everyone. Pleasurable, safe. And remember, consent is a conversation. So share this video to keep the conversation going, and going, and going.
Okay, calm down.
else? Oh no, thank you, I'm fine.
You didn't need to... And going, and go. We get it, Clem. Okay. We get it. You have sex. And overflavor the milkshake is saying somewhere. I get that. I suspect that it's just because of the response to the milkshake consent thing. For anyone who missed that, there was a story recently in Australia. An educational organization put out a very confusing, allegorical, educational video about consent that made no fucking sense to anyone. Very obtuse. The audience it was geared towards wouldn't get it, you know? Very fucking dumb, bad way to do things, and everyone and their mother has criticized this thing. Clementine Ford, in just 2 minutes, has summed up the entire discussion. Eloquently and effortlessly. There is no need to drag that shit the fuck out and make stupid metaphors. Which they did. Likely straight sex too. Yeah, as far as I know, the video was funded by a fundamentalist Christian lobbying group. And as a result, you know, there was there was text to go along with it that had some very, very heavy implications. Like ideas like the idea that men are obsessed with sex, for example. And it was really, really obtuse. I don't know. I don't know. The whole thing was fucking stupid. Anyway. Yeah, the consent is like tea thing. We watched that video after running through the milkshake thing. Again, very simple. Very to the point. Very effortless. Do I have little bits of fluff in my hair? I think I've got little bits of fluff in my hair. Can I get that? Yes, I do. The fluff is coming off my fucking gloves into my hair. Yeah, it was definitely a group that was most certainly like no sex before marriage kind of group. We should do some responses to the Australian Christian lobby. They're fucking creepy, dude. The leader of the ACL is fucking creepy. I got suspended on Twitter because I said the phrase cunt numerous times in a tweet. Not a good look, honestly. Probably not very based in poggers. Fluffy jumper sheds a bit too. Yeah, I know, I'm Australian. This is anti-Australian racism, Twitter. I don't appreciate it. Anyways, I'm assuming somebody didn't get the joke and reported me. Okay, so... La-di-da-di-da. What was I doing? Well, I guess we're kind of done with the consent conversation, unless you want to keep going with it. If anyone else has anything to say, let me know. I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, we do have very prolific use of the word cunt. And quite frankly, the conversation around, like, not using profane language is very, very puritanistic. That's cunt fortunate, it is. You consent to more consent talk. We can have the conversation. Beat me to it. Cunt fortunate. What was I gonna do? I've forgotten now. I had a thing I was gonna say that was related to everything, and I've forgotten what it was. It's very civility in politics. I would not be civil in politics. Fuck cunting profanity is fucking shit. And yes, Aurora, quite frankly, the consent conversation is the perfect compartmentalization of brevity is the soul of wit. It's very, very simple. The ideas behind consent can be summed up essentially in the phrase, like Clementine Ford said, if it's not an enthusiastic yes, then it's a no. That's it. And of course, you can get into the whole thing of like explaining consent can be withdrawn at any time. You do need to inform people of the other factors, but if it's not an enthusiastic yes, it's a no. That's it. It's over and done. You know? Don't try to force it. Don't try to coerce people into, feeling as though they really want it. Oh, you're just playing hard to get. No, don't do that. Do not do that. Don't be that person. Watch two politicians from opposite sides of the spectrum, right-wing populist, nationalist, and a socialist, make jokes about each other's parties' dumb political moves. That sounds rather interesting. Just wish consent would be taught at a much younger age. Yeah, we've talked about that too. I feel like consent should be taught from like ages 8 to 10 at least, like get started on it. And yeah, toddlers can understand consent. But again, like, and you don't need it doesn't need to be sexual consent, duh. But you put the idea in their head early on, you know, you got a little boy and a little girl, you say to the little boy or little girl, whichever, don't touch each other unless the other one says it's okay. You know, keep your hands off each other unless they say it's okay to touch them. You know, if you guys are going to play tag, make sure it's fine with the other person. If you guys want to hug, make sure it's fine with the other one. Ask them. It's really, literally preschool level shit. Children can easily grasp it. Unfortunately, though, a lot of times we like teach anti-consent to kids. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of people who tend to push that really heteronormative narrative, honestly, on kids. You know, you see a 5-year-old hanging out with a female, a little girl. You see a little boy hanging out with a little girl from preschool. Is that your girlfriend? You gonna go and give her a kiss? It's fucking gross, dude. It's disturbing. Like grandparents and parents and aunties, etc., forcing hugs, that too. Boys will be boys, that too. Yeah, there's a lot in there. There's a lot of attitudes that are pushed onto kids at a very young age that definitely change the narrative around consent and more than likely influences the way certain people act when they're older. You know what I mean when I say how certain people act. Anyways. Welcome to the Rogue Room Goth Skull, or Gog Skull, which is it? Took a bit of a break. What'd you come back to? We were talking about consent. Specifically, we were talking about Clementine Ford's Instagram video about consent, which is 2 minutes of just breaking down the idea and it's done. It's easiest just to teach the concept of bodily autonomy from the start. It's such a simple concept that it doesn't have to be taught via analogies or anything, yeah. And like that applies to many things with kids. I've heard, for example, if you want to teach someone a language, they've got to start young, is the best way to do it. You know, kids learn things instinctively from a young age. But yeah, and in particular with the consent discussion, it's so easy, it's so to the point that you don't need to complicate things. I have a thought. Here's an article. From an uncle's perspective, you always ask your nieces if they want a hug, wave, or high five. Most times they buy, and they've been doing that since your oldest was 2. Your sister's also very invested in teaching them about consent and autonomy. Good. Dr. Rogue. I'm not a doctor yet. I'll get there. Mother was a narcissist and a misogynist. Have had so much internal sexism to deal with. You're still not there. Oh, that's not good. I'm sorry to hear that. Learned a long time ago to ask before hugging. Yeah, I do it instinctively nowadays. Which, in its own way, we tend to mock the guy who in the friend group is like, "Where's my hug?" But at least he's asking. I've seen numerous friend groups where they will hug each other instinctively. It's like, nobody asked. Nobody explicitly asked for a hug. It's just an assumed thing. But I suppose nobody wants to hug the guy. It's like, "Where's my hug?" Anyways. Shall we take a look at this New York Times article that I stumbled across today? Twitch, where the far-right influencers feel at home. Now, this is an interesting headline because I haven't particularly noticed much in the way of far-right influencers on Twitch. Has anybody else? Can anybody else speak to the idea of far-right influencers on Twitch? I mean, I personally, maybe it's just the people that I interact with on here. So I've got tunnel vision with regards to who's on Twitch. I definitely see it on YouTube, absolutely. But I haven't particularly heard of or noticed any, notable far-right influencers on Twitch. We can get into this article and find out some more information, most certainly. But yeah, I haven't really noticed it. Maybe it's the algorithm, but most of your Twitch suggests gamers and lefties. Yeah, I think there used to be this narrative on Twitch where the recommendation system or the discoverability on Twitch was really bad, and I think it must have gotten better in recent times. Not great, but I think I certainly think that Twitch's recommendations and Twitch's discoverability systems have improved to an extent. Anywho, let's continue. Let's read it. Barred from Twitter and Facebook as Trump was, social media's younger conspiracy theorists are moving to Twitch. I started off with like a Cockney accent. What's the biggest political surprise of 2021? Not the Democrats' upset wins in Georgia, flipping the Senate in their favor. Not President Biden's leftward swerve. How about the fact that after he was kicked off Twitter and Facebook, former President Donald Trump pretty much just went away? He didn't start his own social media company as some close observers thought he might. He didn't mount a major public battle to get his accounts reinstated. He just quietly retreated, for now, to Mar-a-Lago. Be honest, did you ever think that would happen? Still, the behavior of one man, no matter how famous, no matter how formidable a troll, does not determine the behavior of others. And as Twitter, Facebook, and other platforms have cracked down on misinformation, the internet's younger and sprier purveyors of far-right conspiracy theories have moved elsewhere. One platform that has particularly attracted them is Twitch, an Amazon-owned live streaming video site that our tech reporter Kellen Browning describes in a recent article as a new mainstream base of operations for many far-right influencers. Many have been drawn to Twitch partly because it allows broadcasters to accept donations on the platform while they stream. They're not fucking donations, they're tips, and I made this mistake the other day. Do not call them donations, that word has a specific fucking meaning. To get a sense of how popular Twitch is becoming among the far-right commentariat and why, I spoke to Kellen about his piece. Here's what he had to say. So you're right that as many social media platforms clamp down on hate speech and misinformation around the 2020 election, a number of far-right content creators moved over to Twitch. What was appealing to them about the platform? In one sense, it was appealing simply because it was one of the few mainstream platforms left to them.
On you.
NZ Loki, thank you so kindly for those 100 bits. Thank you so kindly for the tip. What was I saying? It was one of the few mainstream platforms left to them after being barred from places like Twitter and YouTube. But also, Twitch draws millions of people to the site each day, many of them young men, so they could attract far larger audiences than they were getting on smaller fringe sites. I don't know if some expected they would be raking in thousands of dollars when they first joined, but I'm sure that doesn't hurt either. Twitch makes it easy for its streamers to get paid through the site or to link to outside websites and payment services. On sites like Twitter, members of the far right would have to build an audience and spread propaganda to interest people, then direct them to a different location where they could donate money. On Twitch, they can do both at once. Anyways, one major concern among those who study misinformation in social media is that the loudest voice often gets the most attention, not necessarily a great thing for civil debate. In the case of far-right Twitch users, do we see a correlation between the outlandishness of people's claims and the amount of money that broadcasters bring in? I'm just having a glance at this, and I'm not seeing... Here we go. You identify a number of relatively prominent Twitch users who are affiliated with the QAnon conspiracy theory. I wanted to get an inclination as to who these people are. Who are some of the major examples? Some of the biggest names are Terpsichore Maris Lindemann, who streams every day and often gets 3,000 or 4,000 live viewers, Millie Weaver, and a man who goes by RedPill78 or Zach Payne. Ms. Maris Lindemann focuses a lot on mask mandates and election falsehoods and has made the most money on Twitch of the people we looked at. Ms. Weaver, a former InfoWars correspondent, is a bit newer to the platform and focuses on election conspiracies and vaccines. Mr. Payne often directs his audience members to other QAnon-related sites and methods to donate, and deals with some bedrock QAnon conspiracies like the idea that children are being killed to harvest a chemical compound called adrenochrome. Anyway, there's an idea. Who's finding this information out? How are they finding this? Yeah, I was going to say 3 to 4K, if they're the biggest name, that's nobody. Hassan pulls 40,000 a stream, you know? Adrenochrome sounds like a drug in Blade Runner. But yeah, like, I mean, I guess 3 to 4,000 isn't great, but it's not exactly big. It's not a huge number right there. It's pretty insignificant in the grand scheme of things. Now, keep in mind there are a lot of bigger streamers at the tens of thousands mark who are apolitical, so their particular viewpoints, you know, they don't really talk about them because they're gamer streamers and they don't want to lose their audience, so they just don't talk politics, generally speaking. Also, Googling Terpsichore streamer literally gets me no info. Really? Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, that doesn't help at all. QAnon is now invading Jeff Bezos' video game app on the Daily Beast. But yeah, there's not a whole lot here. Okay, adrenochrome is the chemical compound. Let's have a look at this. Produced by C9H9NO3, produced by the oxidation of adrenaline epinephrine. The derivative carbazochrome is a hemostatic medication. Despite a similarity in chemical names, it is unrelated to chromium. Rather, the chrome suffix indicates a relationship to color, as pure adrenochrome is deep violet. In vivo, adrenochrome is synthesized by the oxidation of adrenaline. In vitro, silver oxide is used as an agent to oxidize synthetic adrenaline. Excuse me. In solution, adrenochrome is pink, and further oxidation of the compound causes it to polymerize into brown or black melanin compounds. In popular culture, Aldous Huxley mentioned the discovery and the alleged effects of adrenochrome when he likened the symptoms to mescaline intoxication, although he had never consumed it, in The Doors of Perception. Mentioned in Clockwork Orange, Fear and Loathing Campaign Trail 72. Harvesting of an adrenal gland from a live victim to obtain adrenochrome is a plot feature in the second episode of the television series Lewis. The harvest of adrenochrome from murder victims is a key part of the 2017 horror film Adrenochrome. Component of several false conspiracy theories such as QAnon and the Pizzagate conspiracy theory, with the chemical helping the theories play a similar role to early blood libel stories. What's blood libel? Anyways, Radio Scott, enjoy that flame and lurk. How about that? There you go. Guess it's freaky that there's 3 to 4K consistently tuning into a conspiracy about a guy who's completely checked out. Like, Trump doesn't even give a shit and it's obvious. Yeah, I think he's defeated. I hope he's defeated. I hope he doesn't care anymore and he just doesn't come back. It seems like he's just done, which would be nice. Might be because your Google searches skew towards reading about mythology for 4 hours. I mean, I suppose. Used to listen to the TrueAnon podcast. It's lefty conspiracy stuff. Interesting. Oh, blood libel is an anti-Semitic canard which falsely accuses Jews of murder. Oh, fuck off. Of murdering Christian children or other Gentiles in order to use their blood in the performance of religious rituals. Okie dokie! We've gone down a rabbit hole here. Anyways, so there's that thing. There's a few people on Twitch who I guess are alt-right commentators, far-right commentators. But yeah, I haven't noticed it being a major thing. Personally, I haven't. This is the thing, you know. There's plenty of bigger streamers on the platform who I've probably never heard the name of, quite frankly. So, you know, I guess that's a thing. Fear the old blood, I guess. Yeah. I feel like a lot of Q is just generally anti-authoritarian dipshits in rural parts of the US. Their better path would be libertarian socialists, but instead it was just easy to hit the paint and circle jerk in the Trump fandom and said, oh yeah. What is an Azan? Hassan, Hasan, Piker. used to work for the Young Turks and is now a streamer on Twitch who does political coverage, news, games, etc. I think he's one of the biggest political streamers on the platform at this point. Let me have a look. I can give him a Twitch tracker look. Radio Draco sounds good. Dude, that wine hit me like a truck. Holy shit. Opens up the politics tag in another tab to see how many red names there are. I don't think it works on Twitch, actually. The Shinigami Eyes extension, I don't think it works on Twitch. Hassan Abi. He's the biggest politics Andy on Twitch for sure. Yeah, he averages 25k at the moment. So he's, or 19k according to this, whatever. But yeah, he's a pretty big leftist political streamer. So there's that whole thing. He's ranked 41 on the website. So he's up there in terms of his viewership. Like, I think he is the biggest. Yeah, I think he's the biggest political streamer on the platform, pulling way more viewers than whoever Terpsichore is. Anyways, where were we? A lot of Suburban too. What was I drinking? I was drinking Moscato. Drinking a very cheap Moscato. It was nice though. It's not bubbly anymore. It was bubbly a couple of days ago, but it was good. I enjoy my bubbly. Also, one of the first thumbnails was a bikini pose in front of a banana. hang on. Dude, these gloves are so fluffy they're hitting other keys on my keyboard. Also, I find this highly amusing. People searching for politics also watch Amaranth, who's sitting in a hot tub, which is just a huge discourse at the moment. It's a huge thing at the moment about the hot tub streamers. He's doing a hot tub stream. I don't stream in the politics tab largely because my stream is not exclusively politics, but also because there's not that many viewers in the politics category, I've noticed. So I tend to only stream in just chatting because I like the flexibility of it. I can talk about whatever I want here. Didn't see the also watch, yeah. I feel like that would also have recommendations on it, but yeah, I've noticed the Twitch, a lot of people have been complaining about, I'm getting recommended the booby streamers, and that makes me sad. People are so boring, dude. Why would you complain about that? Of all the things in the world to complain about, why would you complain about the fact that somebody is in a hot tub streaming? And look, even if I scroll down to recommended just chatting channels, Ariala, Aquax, Too Bratty, Monsday, Amaranth is the only hot tub streamer listed there. There are people freaking out on Twitter and Facebook groups about this all the fucking time, acting like Twitch is forcing the hot tub streamer meta down our throats. And like, I've literally, like, the only one I have seen recommended was after I scrolled down and found Amaranth, and that was it. So I feel like people are exaggerating this. Either that, or they have a tendency to watch people who would fall in the same kind of category as the hot tub streamers, and they're freaking out about it, not realizing that when they complain about it, they're telling on themselves. It's like, why is she yucky? Oh, Flex, hang on, Raw. Us. Hang on. Let's do a proper one. I can't. I can do this though. I mean, it's kind of not gonna work. There we go. I did it. I figured it out. Us. But yeah, the hot tub debacle is just another honestly misogynistic way to refer to women streamers on the platform. They're just like, oh, all these girls are streaming in hot tubs, and my Fortnite or Warzone streams aren't getting any viewers because these women with breasts are sitting in hot tubs, stealing all the viewers. Twitch is turning into a porn site. Like, it's a... I just want to commit... No. Not even going to make the joke, because there might be a transphobic troll lurking in chat. A transphobic troll lurking in chat. And I get enough string yourself up by a rope jokes in chat as it is. I don't need to add fuel to the fire. Anyway. You were recommended this channel initially. I've noticed a few people have been coming in on recommended, and I really appreciate that. It feels like, I might be doing something for the platform. Welcome to the Rogue Room, the Sherry. How you doing? Let me put this down here. I like this little strand. This needs to be a thing. Look at that. Oh, yeah. I like that. Cute. I'm adorable. Look at me. I got a little strand. I'm finding new things about myself. Anyways. Oh my god. Figuring out how to do that flex. I did biceps today. And I think in the process of doing it, I've like reactivated the muscle or something. And now it's like acting as though I just pumped it. It's like, dude, can you chill? It's the non-binary fringe. Okay. That music. Thought your PS1 just turned on. It definitely sounds like the PS1 sound, doesn't it? We were talking about Facebook before. Here's the thing. Here's some news. I haven't read this article, so forgive me. However, on The Guardian, Facebook allows advertisers to target children interested in smoking, alcohol, and weight loss. Hello, Hey Shaker, how you doing? Social media giant gave organisation behind a page for Australian 13 to 17-year-olds option to run alcohol, smoking, and gambling ads for as little as $3. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Rogue Room. Hey Shaker. It makes you want to get a barrel and make a bogan hot tub and stream your chunky trans mask ass. Just do it. Do it. Facebook is allowing businesses to advertise to children as young as 13 who express an interest in smoking, extreme weight loss, and gambling for as little as $3, research by the lobby group Reset Australia has found. The organisation, which is critical of digital platforms, set up a Facebook page and advertising account under the name Aussie News Network to see what ad options Facebook would provide through its Ads Manager platform. While Facebook will not allow the advertising of alcohol and other age-inappropriate content to people under 18, it does not prevent advertisers from targeting children determined by Facebook's profile to have an interest in alcohol for advertising that might not appear explicitly to be about those topics. Facebook offered the page the ability to advertise to approximately 740,000 Australian children aged between 13 and 17, but when the group refined the advertisement by interest, found that, just as for those aged over 18, they were able to advertise to teens under 18 with interest in alcohol, smoking, and vaping, gambling, extreme weight loss, fast foods, and online dating services. To advertise to 52,000 teenagers interested in alcohol would cost $3.03, while getting to 14,000 teens interested in gambling would cost $11.24, or to fewer than 1,000 teens interested in cigarettes or electronic cigarettes would cost between $138.50 and $210.97. The organization then tested it out by getting a number of ads mentioning winning prizes or cocktails and asking teens if they were summer ready, approved for advertising to those targeted demographics. The ads were ultimately never sent out. That's interesting. Ads approved by Facebook for teenagers win prizes, spicy cocktail recipe, dating services, creepy, all approved. Yeah, this is all the shit we shouldn't be encouraging children to do. Card Shark 2, welcome to the program. How you doing? Reset Australia has called on the federal government to develop a code regulating how data about young people can be collected and used, saying there should be express consent from children and parents and full transparency over how the data is used, with only necessary data collected. We're talking about this. Facebook allows advertisers to target children interested in smoking, alcohol, and weight loss. Facebook being shit, basically. Should a 13-year-old who lists their single status be getting targeted ads for a sugar daddy dating service? Oh my god, that's gross to read out loud. Should a 15-year-old profiled as interested in alcohol see ads that suggest cocktail recipes based on their parents' alcohol cabinet? Do we want 16-year-olds to have ads about gambling or political extremism targeted at them? Facebook reviews every ad before it goes live, but a spokesperson said in a statement ads could also be reviewed after they run and would need to be compliant with local laws. Keeping young people safe across Instagram and Facebook is vital, the spokesperson said. We have significant measures in place to review all ads before and after they run, including automated systems and human reviewers. Anyone advertising on our platforms must comply with our policies along with all local laws and codes, such as restricting the advertising of alcohol to minors in Australia. I shouldn't have had the alcohol. I can't read. To support this, we also have age restriction tools that all businesses can implement on their accounts themselves to control who sees their content. On Tuesday, Apple rolled out the latest update to its iOS software for iPhones and iPads, which allows users to opt out of apps like Facebook tracking people across the internet, limiting the data the company can collect for the purpose of developing profiles for advertising. There you have it. Facebook doesn't review shit. Yeah, I highly doubt that. I highly doubt they actually do. It's a massive platform. Why would they review shit manually? Are you kidding me? You'd think they would. You'd think they'd have the money to hire the people to do it. You've had to pop open a beer. Facebook does need to end. I can't believe the level of... the sheer level of popularity Facebook has now is just disturbing. And honestly, I'm entirely unsurprised by that this is even a thing. Confirm this happens on all social media, not just Facebook. Yeah, if they have that information, they're going to use it against you. And in Norway, ads targeting children is illegal, so FB shouldn't be showing anyone under 18 any ads in theory. In theory. But children are regrettably, like, and I mean like kids, I mean like young children, below teenage years, are still a prime target for advertising. Think of all the mobile games. One of the things that I have a big problem with regards to advertising to children is mobile games that will advertise, oh, buy a gem pack, buy a skin pack, buy this or whatever on your parents' phone. Here's a mobile game, and look, here's a bunch of options you can spend money on. And there are a number of parents who will just put their credit card details into their iPhone or whatever it is, so that it's automatically stored there, and the kid's suddenly spending money on a gambling app or something like that. You know? Capitalist dystopia. We live in such a boring dystopia. Kids get bullied. Yeah, kids getting bullied for being defaults on Fortnite. Facebook reviews things about as much as I care for Facebook, or in other words, zero. Yeah. Do not advertise to children ever. Fuck Reagan for allowing it to start. Was it Reagan? Hang on a sec. Yeah, like the kids getting bullied for being a default skin thing. Yes, that is a real thing. I've heard the stories of this. Because I mean, I don't know about how much it is nowadays, but back when Fortnite was at its peak, there were many stories coming out about parents saying their kids were telling them that, they were being called a default skin by other kids in the playground, which is not at all surprising. Kids will find a thing that they deem unacceptable and then use that as a bullying tactic. Bullying is just going to happen, unfortunately. It's, there are too many bad parents out there who encourage it, for one thing. If anyone's interested in modern advertising, Edward Bernays is a good person to look into. Basically the architect. Interesting. Hearing something about 80% of the cheese pizza that is spread online is through Facebook Messenger. Used to be spread in closed groups, plus there were groups that were posting bikini pics of kids, which were kept up for ages because it wasn't technically illegal. Yeah, we talked a little while back about the whole, the jailbait subreddit, which was a thing a few years ago. It was pictures of teenage girls in risque apparel, typically bikinis. Wasn't technically illegal, but you know what everybody was going to that subreddit for, right? Fucking creepy. Friends suggest a great punishment for ethically and morally bankrupt billionaires. Stick them in flying capsules for forever and list their many crimes on the capsule, and then you can see exactly what happens when you put money over humanity. I like that. Let's do that. It's non-violent, technically speaking. Also on this is not specifically related to the advertising thing, but older folks, why don't kids go outside anymore? The outside they built. Oh, good lord. Hey, why don't you go play outside, kids? Because there's nowhere to play. I live in a unit that has a shared backyard area. My kids couldn't go out and play for a good long while because my next door neighbor had a dog she wasn't supposed to have. An aggressive bulldog type. So my kids couldn't play in the backyard anymore. Anyway. Like the Phantom Zone from Superman. How are you, Jordan? I wish I knew more Superman lore. I've never gotten super into Superman. Even after that subreddit was banned, it persisted in the form of FFA subreddits where they post I don't even want to read it. Don't go outside because it means everything you need can you can get inside. True. That whole subject is really, really gross. Leave the puns to us buys, please. Ordered a Ninja Turtle pizza and they did not put the turtle juice on the pizza. Well, that's a bit shit, isn't it? I have been craving pizza for a while, actually. Oh, no, I did have pizza recently. It was like mini pizzas, though. I really do crave a greasy, gross pizza. But I'm trying to fucking fix my diet up. And I've been really bad with it. I'm gonna get back on the wagon. I'm gonna fix this nonsense. I really want a greasy, like, meat lovers. Barbecue meat lovers. Why am I like this? Puns, please and thank you. Craving junk food, blah, 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 blah. But I'll ask your diet forbids it. What kind of diet do you want, Festa? Because there might be options. I mean, I understand the philosophy of Superman was boring. I do. However, the notion that I've largely understood about Superman was it's not the fact that he is virtually invincible, but more that his moral character as a person is the reason he's interesting to fans of the series. Which, you know, I suppose you contrast that with Batman in a lot of ways, who is a human, hypothetically, who is a very rich guy beating up on poor criminals. Swamp Thing had morals and humanity. I mean, that's the ideal situation, right? As you talk about the morals and humanity of the superheroes, they're supposed to be a good representation for people to look up to, but, you know, once you start to unpack a lot of the deep-seated issues with the superhero genre, it's a whole thing. They ended up making a ton of Kryptonites, red, gold, plus there was that song called Kryptonite. Do you reckon if you played that song, do you reckon that song exists in the DC universe? Do you reckon if Superman heard that song, would he be weakened by it? Huh. Somebody please write that comic, because ultimately at the end of the day, if you say, oh, could, like, here's a good comparison. I was reading the Castlevania subreddit earlier, and somebody posted a picture of, like, you know, one of the Belmonts behind the Twilight vampires. And a lot of people were like, oh, a Twilight vampire is just leagues ahead of any of the Castlevania vampires and all this kind of shit. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it's fiction. If somebody wants to write that a mortal vampire hunter can absolutely fuck up a vampire from a franchise they typically have no chance against, it's fiction. They can just write it. It's all made up. Anyways. So God wants to do the right thing by people, but the people do so bad to themselves. Yeah, that's what I've understood. Yeah. And yeah, I like the story of the Nick Cage Superman project. That sounded really interesting. I liked, I don't know if this is the same project, but the story from, oh, what's his name? Kevin Smith, about the Superman movie that was going to happen where he would fight a giant spider. And then, I forget the entire story, but that's such an interesting story. He isn't weakened by the word kryptonite, whether it's spoken or sung. Damn it. Fiction. We could write it in. Twilight vampires being leagues out of the way of the Castlevania vampires. I know. Just go with it. Whatever. And yeah, the spider ended up in Wild Wild West. Which, as a kid, I enjoyed that movie. Because I was like, what, 8? I didn't have any concept of what a good movie was. I have not watched JoJo's. I've heard a lot of good things about JoJo's. But on the subject of Castlevania, I did actually just recently finish the third season of that. So I'm going to be watching the 4th season in 2 weeks when that comes out. I'm keen. Here's the opening chords and collapses to the floor. He hasn't been sapped of his powers. He's just overcome with emotion. And yeah, Batman is a billionaire who uses his privilege to assault the mentally ill. Why do people like Batman again? Somebody explain this to me. I can't. Batman is an absolute bastard, isn't he? I'm trying to figure out how do you justify Batman at this point in time. And remember, there was, I don't think it was actually the plot of the movie, but as far as I recall, Batman, one of the Batman 90s movies featured Poison Ivy and Mr. Freeze. It's like, okay, Mr. Freeze is trying to restore the polar ice caps and Poison Ivy is trying to return the world to nature. And here comes a destructive billionaire to stop them. And he's the good guy. Oh, shit. I know that's not the exact plot. Or maybe it is. I haven't watched it in that long. Here comes capitalism to save the day. Batman and Robin. Yeah, it's a very questionable film. But I do like the visual style of it. You know, those movies had a certain defined
You are
visual
now
aesthetic.
one of us.
Hey, Demacy, thank you for gifting us up to Jordan. All-Star Batman and Robin was really interesting because he is portrayed as a sociopath who adopts this kid and then abuses him until he becomes his sidekick, which is essentially what it is. It really is what it is. I do enjoy the Batman Arkham games up until you get to Arkham Knight, and then you realize you have to drive the awful Batmobile around for a significant chunk of the game, and I would just honestly rather not. I felt abused after having played that one. You know? Just don't give me bad driving mechanics in video games, please. And how can you hate a guy that has bat shark repellent in his pants? I love whenever somebody brings up the discussion, could Batman defeat X? And the answer is always with enough time and preparation. Oh, the thing about the Batman, the thing about the Arkham, the thing about Arkham Knight, the thing about the Batman Arkham Knight game, specifically, is it's not just a Batmobile section. It's a significant chunk of the game that you need to use, and it controls like absolute arse. It's awful. Doesn't kill but breaks so many bones of his enemies, leaving them to the broken medical system in Gotham, then blames the poor for their life choices on personal responsibility. All Batmans are bastards. It is, but what's interesting about it is what it is, but the perspective of this particular story actually puts the themes front and center. It's real interesting to see Alfred just not knowing what to do about it. I might have to give that one a look. Sounds interesting. Can recommend some Superman stories? We could. I could do that. I could try reading comics. Or watching some of the animated movies. I've heard the animated DC movies are quite good. So I might give some of those a go. I know my cousin's really into them, so anytime there's, like, he was really super into the idea of the Red Hood movie. So I might have to give those a crack. Didn't get into Arkham Knight. Loved the first 3 Arkham games. Didn't even get far enough into it to have the driving problem. There was just something off about it. In the same way that, like, Assassin's Creed 2 was really good. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, the follow-up, the second in the Ezio trilogy. Really good. Then Assassin's Creed Revelations just lost me in the introduction before I got into the actual game. They changed enough of it that it felt wrong, and I didn't want to play it anymore. But, like, I didn't even get to learning how the bomb making mechanic worked, for example. You know, I just didn't care. I've had several games like that where I've played 1, then 2, maybe 3, then you get to a certain one, and it's like it just doesn't grip you at the beginning of it. You know, it really sucks. Changing up the control scheme was the worst part. In Batman or in Assassin's Creed? Exactly the same. You didn't pick up an Assassin's Creed game after that? I liked Black Flag. I played a bit of that. Funnily enough, I didn't like Assassin's Creed 3, which, as far as I know, is functionally identical in terms of its mechanics, except they improved the ships in Black Flag. But yeah, I picked up Black Flag purely on the pretense that it was like, it's not really an Assassin's Creed game, it's just a pirate game with the Assassin's Creed title on it. And I enjoyed that for a bit, but I never finished it. Because it had the same problem every other Assassin's Creed game had, where it was just entirely too much. You know? There does come a point where there's just too much game, and I need to take a break from it. And in a lot of cases in those kind of games, I end up losing interest. For the man that has everything, whatever happened to the man of tomorrow, All-Star Superman, Superman Red Sun. Okay. I'll look those up. Yeah, Black Flag was good. Oh, good band. Okay. Oh yeah, Superman 64. Dude, I almost want to emulate Superman 64 just for the experience of having streamed it. You worked on Revelations. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Assassin's Creed Syndicate completely turned you off to the series. You never played an AC game from AC3 and on. So what if Batman landed... Is it Batman or Superman? I thought it was Superman. I know there was... I know Injustice had Red Sun Superman. Yeah. Yeah, it was... Yeah, that one. One of the Injustice games had Red Sun Superman. And you know what, in a similar vein, we're just going to go off on a tangent about multimedia now. In a similar vein, because Injustice is developed by NetherRealm, who produced Mortal Kombat, I'm hearing a lot of bad things about Mortal Kombat, the new one, the movie, and I don't want to hear bad things about the Mortal Kombat movie. It looks so cool. I don't want to hear the bad things. It makes me sad. Superman 64 charity stream. Yeah, it's a video game movie. I fully expect it to not be great. Yeah, Even Warcraft wasn't good, and Warcraft was aesthetically faithful, at the very least, but it was just such a rushed mess, which makes it unsatisfying to watch. I watched it once just for the visuals, and that was it. I am a Sub-Zero fan, yes indeed. I do like Sub-Zero. Watched it in a Discord call with a couple of friends. Oh yeah, because it's in, it's on HBO Max, isn't it? Or HBO, whatever it is. You know, so you can rent it if you are in a lockdown zone or something, if you're in America. Yeah, I think you mentioned your friend plays Kano. Was I in your stream when you mentioned that? I think that was what happened, yeah. Just watch Sonic. I mean, I heard Sonic is a good, enjoyable movie. You know, it's not exactly Paddington 2, but I've heard that Sonic is pretty good. You know. You're going to be completely honest, it starts out really well. They do too much towards the end. Oh, okay. I'm not actually banned on Twitter. I'm suspended on Twitter for the next 3 hours. Got suspended at about 3 p.m. this afternoon. And then, yeah, I'm not allowed back for 12 hours. So I'm suspended temporarily because I posted a tweet that had the word cunt in it like 5 times. As a joke, not directed at anyone. It was a very Australian tweet. Okay? I said, everyone's a cunt. I think I said something to the effect of, everyone's a cunt. There's mad cunts, shit cunts, sick cunts, dog cunts. Very bad tweet. I shouldn't have tweeted it. But it was in response to somebody responding to somebody. It's a very confusing way to phrase this. And the person I was responding to said, is the word cunt still okay? Because I think the person who was questioning them originally was asking something about a certain word they couldn't use or whatever. And yeah, I responded with that and I got reported, I suppose, very shortly after. Stupid. Anyway, and I actually appealed it. I sent in a message and they were just like, no, the suspension stands. Stupid. Dumb. You're not watching the new Mulan. Neither am I. The start is good, Kano is good, Razorhead is good, otherwise it's pretty meh. Ugh. That sucks. That really genuinely sucks, because I like the visual style of Mortal Kombat. And there really shouldn't be... You can't make Mortal Kombat overcomplicated. Mortal Kombat is inherently a simplified franchise. You really should just do a hero's journey with Mortal Kombat. Quite frankly, I would appreciate video game movies a lot more if they just did a hero's journey arc. And that was it. Just do that. Give me different visual styles of video games. Just give me the basic plot. You know, don't overcomplicate a video game movie, and I feel like we would have a lot better video game movies. One of the problems that they have, I think, is that they try to put in too many winks and nods to the fans of the games, you know, and they end up, you know, flooding the movie. It becomes too much of a mess. Then there's Cunt's critique of pure reason. The appeal should be I'm Australian. Congratulations is what you put on a You Had SRS greeting card. That's fucking great. That's fucking great. I'm gonna need to save that. I'll tell my sister to get that ready for me when I ever have the money for that. They need different moderators from different countries where the accounts are created. Yes. Give us local mods. Even then, I don't think that's gonna work. Hello, Smudge. He's found a spot where he's sitting comfortably now, and he's not being a pest. He's not running around and then sitting there looking up at me and meowing incessantly. He's being good for a bit. As you see, the biggest thing with video game movies is pacing. Playing a game, you get to choose what happens. So it always feels off when you're passively watching the action. That's kind of the issue, I think. Because, yeah, video games are their own medium. I don't think... It's different... Because video games, like, let's just say, for example, a book adaptation. You're reading the book and you're interpreting the words being presented to you in your own head. You are putting the visual style to the words. You are interpreting it. When it comes to a video game and a movie, or a TV show, for example, because there have been TV show adaptations of games as well, you've got two visual mediums. So we've already got an interpretation of what that media is like. And to that end, it almost feels redundant to make a movie of a video game by and large. Because we've had the experience, we've had the visual experience of playing the video game. So if a video game is great and then they release a movie of that video game, inherently it's not going to feel right, by and large. you know. That's just the way I see it anyway. And there's my video on sports. If anyone wants to see me trashing on the trans athletes debacle, click on that link. Oh my goodness, I really should get to work on the next video, shouldn't I? I really should stop lazing about with that one. I've been incredibly slacking. Ugh. Why do I give myself these projects? Anyways. Thought Jon Snow would be taller. How is he depicted in the blah? How's he depicted in the books? Like at the end of the movie, the protagonist fights Sub-Zero. Fight is over, and not even 4 minutes later, bang! Shang Tsung is here, and is it just like set up a sequel or something? If you could take the story in a different direction, then it's cool, I suppose. Like my major thing was like there are certain games that have already got a good story. BioShock, for example, and they're still planning on adapting BioShock. I think at the moment they want to adapt BioShock into a Netflix series. And it's like it comes around to that thing again where when you are playing BioShock, you're a silent protagonist. Your role in the story is to be talked at, you know? You are not at any point given any dialogue or anything like that. You're the character that is being bossed around. The story is good, but the way it is told to the player is distinctly native to video games. You know, it's not something that really works in a movie or TV show format. You'd have to dramatically change the way things work. Whereas, you know, like we mentioned before with books or what have you, or comics, they can adapt an existing storyline that flows much the same way a movie does. And to that end, I think we have that issue with video games by and large, where stories can be so obtuse in video games. The way they can be portrayed to the player is something that only video games really do well. Dark Souls is a good example as well. Same kind of thing that BioShock has, where, you know, the majority of the story in Dark Souls is told to you through vague NPC dialogue, and it's very interpretive. I think it could still work, but the problem is, if we give the Dark Souls license to a movie studio, they're going to drastically change what we know about Dark Souls. Warbad Mino. Be very interesting to see a TV show staying true to the nature of the silent protagonist. It could be done, is the thing. Like, watch Mad Max Fury Road. How many words does Mad Max actually say in that movie? You know, you could definitely do something. Again, I mentioned this 1,000 times before. Give me Doom as Mad Max Fury Road. Give me the Doomslayer movie we all deserve, where he shuts the fuck up and kills demons for an hour and a half. But you can still work some story in there. There is still a way to do it. And keep it gripping. It's just no one's figured it out yet. Kitso, welcome to the Road Room. How you doing? Alright, so, it is late for me. You rewatched Mad Max the other day and you want to do it again already. It's so good. It is really good. Has 52 lines in the whole movie, excluding grunts. Okay. So not a lot in the grand scheme of things. But that movie is very much one big action set piece. I didn't actually mean to hit the enter key that quickly, but we're raiding Grizzly Gaming in a minute. Who I meant to raid last night, but I couldn't. Anyways, if you've not already, follow my socials, including my Twitter, where I'm still suspended for the next 3 hours. I'm not going to be awake by the time that suspension is lifted. But yeah, we're going to head off for the night. Join the Discord if you have not already. Subscribe to my YouTube channel where I'm trying to upload videos again. Follow my Instagram where I posted about my Twitter suspension. And I did post something on the Facebook group today, or Facebook page. I should delete the Facebook page and turn it into a Facebook group. You know, which essentially the Discord fills that role anyway, so why bother, you know? Who uses Facebook? We were trashing on Facebook before. I'm done trashing on Facebook. Look at my cute little fluffy gloves and say hi to Grizz for me. Be kind to yourselves and each other. I will be live tomorrow night, and then Friday we're going to get back to Fallout New Vegas. What else have I got to say? Don't get banned on Twitter for stupid bullshit like saying the word cunt 6 times. Or 5 times. Whatever it is. I don't even have the tweet saved to show you the evidence. I'll see you when I'm looking at you.